chance of having those more puggy maps to rely on when you have a sub coming in.
It is interesting. We saw a little bit of a change up here last time they played at that Melbourne matchup. That didn't go well for 3D Max. 3D Max brought through the Inferno, which did not work out for them. So this time they go towards the Anubis, a map that they've historically had a good time on, have enjoyed at various points in this roster. And we got the tunes.
Yeah, we do.
We got the tunes bopping through. We're going to get this one underway. We're going to get this one ready to go here in just a moment. Seems like we might have a little bit of a hitch as we get some problems resolved. But what are your expectations here for Anubis coming in?
I mean, to be honest, I feel like 3D Max, like I already said, are probably going to have the edge here. You know, in my opinion, GamerLegion, although they've played it a decent amount over the last 3 months, I think it's 5 times. They've had a couple of wins and 3 losses. And you look on the other side, 3D Max, while they did, you know, suffer defeats against FaZe, and a lot of their defeats have been recent, right? Because they've had their struggle. I think it was in Melbourne. Melbourne, a lot of the stuff was going wrong because I don't know why. I mean, we talked about it in the green room, Mike. Might have been because of the time change. It's really brutal when you're going down there, and some teams don't really respond as well. But I mean, look, we'll see what happens here if GamerLegion can come out with another strong start, or if 3D Max can finally get off on the right foot.
Just looking at this, and Acor did play a bit of Anubis on TSM, but they mostly tried to stay away from it. So we'll see if there's some level of discomfort, or if they're going to be able to just insert him in. Bulk of this presence moving up mid now. You've got the 2 boundary players in PR and Towson. But this stack, they're moving up the middle. And Maka might just be ready to receive them. A little bit of a skirmish here as they've taken out that mid player. Now they're grabbing on towards this site. Lucky looking for the shots. Going to be able to find 2. That's going to make this possible for his team. But as players get plucked away, Exorcist has to hold on to this ground. And he does so ably. PR is completely separated from the team. So while they drop the bomb on down, eventually they're going to realize this was a lurk. PR is coming from downtown here. Let's see if he can clutch this up. Just the clock, has the armor. The pop off a shot, reveal his presence, and now he's got 2 to contend with, and Exorcist will land the killing blow. Nice pistol round for him.
Great pistol round start here, of course, coming through for 3D Max and PR in particular. Or, excuse me, not PR, but on the other side for 3D Max, doing a great job. And honestly, I think it's always important to get a good start on that CT side, right? Because if you get that pistol round, you can build up off of it, get a couple more, especially on Anubis, because when you don't, the rounds can often pile up in the other direction very quickly, Mike.
Nice little nade early on to Rez. He's got the big gun. He's got the deagle. So he rings out that, and they answer him back with an HE. A little mortar strike coming on in. Just a straightforward 2-1-2 here for 3D Max. But GamerLegion without a lot of weaponry, opting to play conservatively here. Shouldn't have much of a chance to crack through. It might just be a death ball with Glocks and hope you take out the scout type of situation. And with the tag on a Maka, that would be a little easier.
Yep, 5 players moving down bridge here for GamerLegion. They got the 1 deagle, hoping that that's going to connect with something, and it does. Look, Rez gets that shot onto Lucky after Lucky drops ETR. That's an M4 on the ground. They're going to try and recover and just probably snowball into this A site would be my guess. Maka and Exercise trying to take care of business, but it is looking pretty good here for GamerLegion. At the very least, could be a bomb plant as they're trying to fend off these last 3 players, and I don't think they'll be able to, Mike. It's Tossin standing on his head, but it's not nearly enough, and it will be Body and Maka to close things out.
Massively successful round, though. 3 kills and a bomb plant. You came in with 1 deagle and Glocks? I mean, this is a victory. Not in the round total, but certainly going to be a huge asset here for this GamerLegion team as they get into that first rifle round. You really couldn't have hoped for more. I mean, you can hope for a round win, but let's be real, John. You got to be realistic about your expectations.
Yes. Absolutely. Now, let's see what they can do now with the AKs out. And, of course, that bomb plant bolsters their economy. They're able to get that util out in full force. And still not going to see the op premiere here for GamerLegion's A-Core. We'll get it eventually. But they didn't have enough money to invest into it this time around. And still no ops out for 3D Max, of course, either, because they don't have to invest. Or, I mean, they did, but 2 players not going to choose to buy an op, of course, just yet. You don't need to. 120 on the clock, Mike. Lucky's waiting around mid for Rez to engage with him. Rez thinking about it, just tossing that util forward. Rez likes to take a lot of opening engagement, 23.9% attempts, the most in the team over the last 3 months, and it's got a pretty good success rate, 53.5% and a 1.12 rating, so we'll be looking towards him to see what he can do to open up space for his squad.
The interesting thing, of course, is also going to be just where is A-Core? Right now, moving about with the pack. Yes. Playing with the group, it's kind of what you'll expect for the Opper. Once the scope becomes an option, we might see him pick his shots a little bit more just to see if he can get some openers, get some space. Ooh, speaking of space, look at this from 3D Max. They've gained the canals. There's somebody holding the flank. ZTR, though, cannot win it. Now they're in trouble. Towson traded. Means that this Cape push is never going to come through. That's a very good timing coming through for 3D Max. Going to make this B defense a lot more viable. So they've gained the pizza. They might find that slice comes with a heavy cost. And look at the health. It's just gone. Annihilation as the defense holds for 3D Max.
3D Max doing a great job servicing themselves here on Anubis in the opening gun round. They pretty much shut down GamerLegion just from that push, right? As soon as Maka comes in there, it makes their life so much more difficult. And Body at the end of it, taking down Rez and A-Core and making it look easy in the process. GamerLegion reeling a little bit in the early goings, but it still is, as mentioned early, 4 pistols and an AK. Hero AK is going to be purchased up here for GamerLegion.
Yeah, this is interesting. Head armor even prioritized here, so they want to seriously raid boss here for Towson. The op is out for Maka. So we're wondering when that scope will get purchased. Maka will be taking it in towards a little bit of a cave look, but smoked off for the moment. There's no vision. And meanwhile, they've given some space in towards mid, trusting their smokes a bit more, and well, GamerLegion have not respected those. So Maka's going to be in trouble. Going to be able to connect a shot. It's a collat as well. Damage onto A-Core. That's a huge assist onto his A defense as they come funneling through camera. PR collecting on one, but Maka at the flank. Players at the front. It's all left to ZTR. Picks up a rifle at the very least, but it is a total overwhelm. There was no getting out of that one.
Yeah, I mean, not a bad effort coming through there from GamerLegion because they tried to gain that space into mid, but Maka with a great peek and shot, as you mentioned, comes through with a collab. We're going to see it again here. I mean, it gets Rez, does 80 damage to the player behind him, and after that, he readjusts himself for another 2 frags. So that's a great job staving off the anti-eco, which is very difficult to do as an opper when those pistols are barreling down towards you. You can easily get overloaded. So, you know, great work from Maka, maneuvering himself away from danger and getting back into the B site so he's able to activate and support his team once more. So 4-0 for 3D Max, and GamerLegion need to talk things over.
I don't know if this has been confirmed through any other sources, but I saw a little report trickle down that GamerLegion might be trying to capture a little bit of that French magic themselves. Apparently a French opper. I think KRL mentioned that one.
Kersey, I believe?
Kersey. Not someone I'm super familiar with, but look, the scouting department's been good there, so if that does come to pass in the new season, it'd be interesting to see.
Certainly would be, of course, a younger talent that they're trying to pick up and bring to the roster. It's always nice to see them targeting, you know, those players that are up and coming rather than recycling talent that might not work. Oh, man, I sound really mean to A-Core right now.
Dang, John, come on. He's playing his first official of the year. Give him a chance.
You too.
He's a young up-and-coming talent, just like Rez.
I like the veteran players too, don't get me wrong. I just think it's always good to look in both directions there. Anyway, PR is going to get the opener on to body here, so that's a great start for GL. I believe the first time they've had an opening frag, at least in a gun round, but it will be Maka and Lucky right on back here to bring it in their favor once more.
And they find the bomb as well. These responses from 3D Max are really cool to see. You know, it's how you have to play Anubis, and it's one of the reasons why 3D Max is such a delight to watch on this team, is they're so proactive. And the CT side defense on Anubis is all about that proactivity, right? You cannot sit on your sights. They're just too unfavorable in the duels if they're going to exec into you. So you have to take space somewhere. Okay, so you lose the player on B. What's the response? Double push through in towards mid. Catch that bomb. That's a fortunate stroke for sure. But even if they had just had the 2 kills there without the bomb control, this still would have been a tough situation for GamerLegion. It would have allowed them to go for the retake. So it just... 3D Max as a team feel like they're always in flow and feel like they're always responding to the other side of the map, right? Which tends to indicate good communication, good protocols, and a really aggressive mentality. It's like we lose space somewhere, we take it somewhere else. We're always going to be trying to fill the gaps that you afford to us. And I think that's, to me, what makes them a fun Anubis team.
Yeah, and it's also a great thing for them because they talked about it when we were watching some interviews earlier on in the pre-show, how mentality-wise sometimes they get down on themselves when they don't get off to a good map and things like that. Oh.
Ref's head and hands, that's never a good sign for the tech issue. What did you do, buddy? What did you do? I saw the face palm, and that is not a good sign because that man has seen many a tech issue before.
All right, well, we'll see what happens. Just to finish my thought there, Mike, I mean, honestly, it's good for them psychologically to get off to this good start. I think if you look at their recent results and you see like what happens after lose map win, a lot of teams are able to bounce back. They forget about it. That hasn't been happening for 3D Max at all. They had a 13-0 loss against FaZe, and then afterwards 13-5. And you see GamerLegion, even last time, it was 4-13 on Ancient, then 8-13 on Inferno. They really didn't fare very well. And then finally up against FaZe most recently in Melbourne, another 1-13 and 7-13. So I mean, they need that strong start for themselves. Of course, it's always good to get that strong start, but I think if they don't get it, it's more problematic. And we still got the tech issue, of course.
Yeah, we got baited. I saw Lucky putting the headset went. No, no. That's the key, folks. If you're always trying to figure out whether a tech issue is going to be resolved quickly, it's headphones on or headphones off. Leaning back in the chair and ref on the keyboard, not a great sign.
Aye.
But hopefully we'll get that resolved quickly.
And you kind of, given that it's been such a hot start for 3D Max on the map, CT side Anubis too being up 5-0, it's kind of concerning having this big pause potentially coming through when everything's kind of rolling your way and flowing well. You never want this to happen, but sometimes you just can't control it.
The flip side, though, is you can't communicate during a tech pause, right? So
that's right.
GamerLegion can't fix solutions, but what they can do is sit and stew in their own thoughts about why it's not working, why it's been going poorly. And again, for GamerLegion, we've hammered this a little bit, they're a very young team. Outside of Rez and now obviously Acor coming in as a stand-in, the 3 players in ZTR, Towson, and PR are very young. They've been phenomenal. They've been a delight and a revelation. But these moments where you get a long tech pause after you went down 5-0, maybe you slip back into your thoughts. Ideally, you use it as a reset, but there is always that risk that you just get a stew. You're going to think about what you should have done in a round, how you should have taken a fight, how you should have taken a shot. It might not be the most productive. All right, headsets back on. We got clapping from Blasink. He's clapping with a French accent.
How do you clap with a French accent?
You have to say "hon, hon, hon" with each clap. Oh, we're back in. You're from Montreal. You would know better than I do, John. Although that accent is not French.
No, it's not. But it's okay.
That is its own thing altogether. Hopefully we're going to be a little more synced up now.
Yes.
And hopefully for GamerLegion's sake, they can get a little bit more synced up as well.
Five to nothing Anubis. Dream start for 3D Max. Obviously, we will have to see if it continues for them. because GamerLegion do have a buy up here, and finally the AWP is out for Acor, so we'll see what he can do up against Maka, who's been kind of having his way with GamerLegion, although a lot of those frags came on the anti-eco. We'll see if he can win the duel with Acor, if it even comes up. Towson going out here, looking for an opening duel. Doesn't find it. In fact, he does, but he loses it completely thanks to a great flashbang thrown by Maka. And you have a 5v4 in favor of 3D Max, Mike.
And that's that exact proactivity. Put up your own smoke, flash your way through that smoke, take the space. Know that they're probably playing with a lurker, have a good idea of what they want to do. There's the flashbang, there's the swing. Fortunately for GamerLegion, a 2-for-1 trade on that means that a bomb can finally be planted. We've actually got a post plant here, but keep an eye on Lucky. He's got all the nadage. HE's a little late. Player got off the plant spot, and Raz collected in middle. That patience from Maka pays off. And so ZTR knows he has to make a move. You can't just leave PR and B main to make this work. And ZTR cannot win his fight. It all falls to the upper. Work done. Smoke up. Block your vision. Good luck, PR. This is a prayer. Goes the AK for the spray down, but hasn't found the diffuser just yet. Might think he has it, but no. The round snatched away. Killed 2 players. Thought surely one of those had to be on the bomb.
That's unbelievable, honestly. 3K comes through, and he's getting the shots. He's connecting on the bodies, like you said, Mike, but he couldn't find the one that mattered the most, and that was the one defusing the bomb. Unbelievable stuff coming through there, and it's unfortunate for GamerLegion because, yes, you get a bomb plant, but you're still now down 6-0. No chance of coming out with a victory here on this half on your T side, Anubis. Ooh, boy.
Ooh, boy. This is turn into a little bit of a barn burner. And it's GamerLegion's barn that's being burned.
Yeah, just not what GamerLegion were hoping for as a start for sure. Of course, this is 3D Max's pick, but still, I think what's difficult, right, is trying to get that utility set up, in particular on a map like Anubis. And, you know, we were mentioning it before, Acor might not be as practiced there, might not be as prepped to make those set plays and set up his teammates for success on Anubis. Yes, he's played it before on TSM, but you already talked about it, Mike, not that much because they didn't favor it. So it's going to take time, and they don't have that time, unfortunately, with Acor coming in. They only played three matches, they were saying, with him so far. So it's going to have to be on the fly here. Maybe have someone else take that utility role, but that also would be just as difficult. So I think Acor is just going to have to try and make it work as best as he can. And you're probably going to see them working together, staying as a group, as you've already seen, to go for their executes rather than trying for anything too complicated, I would imagine.
Perhaps. Perhaps. The one thing we can say that's going to be nice for GamerLegion is they do have Ancient next up, and that's kind of been their comfort pick for a very long time. So that makes life a little easier. A little bit better for them.
And they did have that success last time against 3D Max 13-4 in Ancient, so they can lean on that a little bit. So
Wasn't cooling down. That's the double up. You wonder why coaches have so many notes. It's to fan themselves. There's actually nothing on those pieces of paper. Nothing whatsoever.
Purely to cool you down in the hot Dallas sun indoors.
We got the nose strip meta coming through here.
Yeah. What's up with that?
Well, you know, Chopper was bringing them in. Was looking real good as nose strip Chopper for a little while. I know Machine has used them as a performance enhancing casting aid at times. The idea is generally to open up your nasal passageways, get that airflow going real good, oxygenate your brain, and just help you keep the flow going.
Okay. Fair enough. I feel like your body should be able to naturally do that on its own, but you know
some people have broken noses, some people have deviated septums, some people just get real snotty, especially in the springtime. I know Texas in particular can be brutal for that. A little mountain cedar in your allergies system, yes. And you are sniffling. So, a little nose strip, and hey, they look cool as well. What about you, John? What are you allergic to?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Oh, wait, that's not true. That's not true. I am allergic to medication. I can't remember. I think I can't remember the name, but there's a specific medication I'm allergic to. Outside of that, I have no like major allergies to any type of food or pollen or anything like that.
I've got the same thing. I'm quite fortunate with it.
Yeah.
I have mine. I know it's an obscure antibiotic called Ciclor.
Oh,
That I only know because I was prescribed it as a child at like 3 years old for something, ear infection probably, and apparently made me swell up like a balloon.
similar experience for me. I was a kid and they prescribed the medication. I have it written down, obviously, for medical purposes, so the doctor knows. But the same thing exact happened. Just a little bit of an allergic reaction. There you go. So
For some
I guess
reason,
we're fortunate outside of that.
my parents thought it was an allergy to chocolate, and so
Really?
they didn't let me have chocolate for like 2 months. It's tough. We were also in Switzerland at the time, the land of chocolate. So, look, I've forgiven them at this point, but it took a while.
Being in Switzerland and being deprived chocolate is the worst.
As
man. That
a
chocolate's
3-year-old
amazing.
man, it's a tough time.
Yes.
Tough time out there on the
Lord.
streets. Tough time here in the server, but I am seeing at least hands on mice. But I'm not seeing a lot of locking in right now. A little squinting, some focus, cheek chewing. You have any bad habits, John? Like cheek chewing, nail biting? As you
Not
can
really.
tell, we have some time here on this tech pause. It's going to be a minute.
No, I can't think of any. Maybe I don't know if it's a bad habit, but like if I'm, I don't know, like I fiddle with things sometimes, like my phone, or like I don't know, just move it around, or put the magnetic charger on and off, I suppose.
Yep.
On my phone when I'm sitting on my computer, so that type of stuff.
Little fidget spinning action.
Yeah.
No, I'm familiar with that. I've got the little there's like a little wooden box that someone sent me a keycap in, and I just take that apart and put it back together sometimes at my desk while we're waiting on these moments. Always good to have a fidget device. Those Warmly hand warmers are excellent for that. You can see bodies practicing prime technique. I do like to, so they're magnetic, right? And you can kind of flip them like a butterfly knife a little bit. It's not perfect, but you could sort of do, I've actually got them right now. You could do a little hand juggling motion. Quite satisfying, even if they're not turned on.
No, I really want some, to be honest, like just because it's a cool magnet, and then
Hear that, ESL shop? Hook the boy up.
Hey. No, I mean, they're just awesome because you get that hand warmer too. That oftentimes, for whatever reason, my hands get cold and it messes with your gameplay. It's actually important, right? To have warm hands and not feel cold, literally cold in your hands, and not just in the server, right? So it's it's something that you should probably check out if you haven't already.
Absolutely. And you got them long limbs. So
I do.
It happens.
I do.
You know, the extremities, you need some serious blood pumping going on. And sometimes them fingies get cold. My dungeon lair basement office turns quite cold in the winter.
Same.
Always need to be warming them hands. I like to go cup of tea. Sometimes you got the Warmlies out. We got some time here, so if you have any questions in chat, point them in. I'm looking in. We'll see if we can get a little chatter going on here. It's either that or a break, folks. So we're saving you from the break, and you just get to hear us yap right now.
We're just podcasting now.
We are podcasting.
I haven't actually had that much trouble in winter anymore, Mike, in my basement, because the graphic cards generate so much. No, it's like I've got two computers in this office, and they both are just pumping heat out into the room, and it's perfectly fine. My hands are always warm thanks to that, but it's crazy. It's crazy how hot these things get and how much power they suck.
They do indeed. Advancements in technology that come at a cost. Checking in on the A-Stream game as well. They're locked in at a 4-4. Started off with a pistol round for FaZe, 4 rounds in a row for Liquid. Now a couple back here for FaZe. Elige, as always, leveling up against one of his old teams, topping the board right now for a squad. And you know what? Simple's positive, so that's a good sign.
Okay.
I've never seen
Falcons run.
a community watch somebody's face it cues as intently as everyone's been watching Simple's last few games.
I guess you can't really blame him, right?
The GOAT.
It's an exciting time. Yeah.
He's kind of at risk of losing that GOAT status. Zywoo's coming looking mighty goaty these days. Dangerous.
It's just he hasn't been able to find a fit yet, right? We saw it on Falcons. It didn't really work there, and now we're trying it on FaZe, and hopefully for his sake, he'll be able to, find a fit that works for him and the rest of the squad as well. I don't know. He's such a good player that it's a shame to see him sitting on the sidelines, and I'm glad to see him back in action here with FaZe.
He is. We're locking in. We're locking in, leaning forward in chairs. There's the clap, French clap coming through. That sounds like something you don't want to catch. We got action, folks. We got energy. We got some juice. Wassing bringing the hype. Ash still just sitting down thinking, man, maybe we should have vetoed Anubis. And away we go.
Yeah, it might not have been a bad idea, honestly, thinking back on it. But hey, look, it's too late now. They gotta play it. Body. Maka taking the early damage from the util here. And you see Maka wants to go for this peek. Akor's waiting for it. Akor, can he get it? No! Maka wins the duel. Oh, that's so unfortunate. The first time we get to see those ops against each other, Akor loses it, and pretty handily at that. As it will be a 5v4 in favor of 3D Max. Bomb going to be recovered here by ZTR. And they want to reset a little bit to GamerLegion.
Understandable. Might want to reset back to 0-0, frankly, because this is just not going their way. Nothing like coming out of a long break like that, being like, all right, we have an op now. And then just immediately, Akor gets dunked upon. Nades are harassing here as well, just chipping them down. Body starting to drop. Rez at least gets one back through the smoke. Lucky out of play, but there's still presence here in mid, so they might think there's space. But Exorcist, he says no. A push out from Cave here. Tosin finds the first, but does he expect the second to be through? He does indeed. Nice clear out coming through from Tosin. And now it's looking very nice indeed. Space on towards B, a plant potential, and this is falling apart for 3D Max.
Wow, it was a great start too. They got that opening frag onto the Opper, and all of a sudden Towson comes out, gets two critical frags, and they walk onto the vacant B site. Money-wise, it's not that great for 3 of the 5 players here on 3D Max, and my feeling is, given the posturing for Exercise right now, that they're going to go for the save, and it is the correct call. So finally, GamerLegion get a round off the board thanks to some great work from Towson. And we'll see if they can build up off of this, Mike. Be surprised if they hunt at all. Rez just having a look to see if anyone's close by.
I mean, you say that. Money's not actually great for 3D Max. A lot of these rounds have been very messy. The cash will run out very quickly. They need these 2 guns to get a buy together.
I'd say so, but also on the other side, they need the guns too, right? Their money's not stabilized either, so we can make that argument for both sides. But yeah, I'd say if anyone needs to take the risk, maybe you're right. Maybe GamerLegion is the one, because they're the ones down by 5 rounds at this point.
Gotta get spicy.
Yeah.
Gotta risk it. Because, yeah, I mean, we were intimating it before, but if you're not that familiar with Anubis, this is one of the maps in the pool that tends to lean most heavily towards that attacking side. So the fact that 3D Max have already been able to stack 6 rounds here on the defense bodes very well for the chances overall. And for GamerLegion, they're playing catch-up now.
Well, no better chance to catch up than to string a couple of rounds in a row.
Got the op back for Akor as well.
Yeah. And money's a little limited still, right? For 3D Max, they have to settle for FAMAS and an MP9. We'll see if Akor can connect on an op shot there. He was holding the right angle, just didn't connect on the shot. A little faster was Maka coming around that corner, that peeker's advantage favoring him. But where's he going to stabilize now? It looks like Akor wants to play towards mid, or actually outside of B.
Yeah, he's holding for the B main push right in the moment. He's got a player playing anti-flash and PR, but that's not where the aggression's coming. A little bit of exchange here outside of cave, just utility skirmishing. And with that smoke down, GamerLegion want to test it. They were thinking about it. Would be a risk, but they do want to NB here, and there's only 2 players in the defense. So, first kill found on a body. It's looking very good. Graffiti's got to go ham. Finds 2. Gives them a chance at the very least, but still more work needs to be had. And XSC's finding some space here back at the obelisk. He's going to find himself quite punished. He's gone, and that should be the chances of the round gone as well.
I don't know. It feels like 3D Max still want to have a look here, and that will encourage them even further as ZTR takes a step too far outside of B main. 2v2 now. PR looking for a follow-up here, and he will get it. Lucky drop. That will convince Maka, I imagine, to back off. You're just going to spam a few bullets through the smoke and deter them from pushing him. But that is him on a mission to save the AWP. So another good round coming through from GamerLegion, recovering well, getting control of that B site, and PR the one to deliver a couple of frags this time. Chaos at one point, though, and in credit to GamerLegion for fighting through it.
Credit indeed. That's what they needed, right? I mean, it's the double-edged sword sometimes with the playstyle for 3D Max is they're so proactive that even when they had the advantages there, they were trying to take the space, trying to gobble up, trying to seal in GamerLegion. And so by taking the pause, by just putting a little bit of air into it, and full credits on the Towson for it as well, right?
Yeah.
Making that space, giving them the option to bail out and rotate in. It's PR who finishes, PR who closes, but Towson who gives them the chance. Maka's got the big gun. He's the only one, but they might not expect this. It's a weird situation financially, and Maka sticking around on the angles despite this utility, and maybe he overstayed his welcome. Now that's the one gun down, done, and dusted, and all the pistols may be here, but that just gives more targets to spray.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really blame Maka for going for the aggressive peek there and trying to find the opener because he's got that big piece, and it's the AWP. You want to hit one and then fade off into the distance, but he doesn't get it. And you know, those guns can quickly close the gap there, and Towson does exactly that. Catches Maka trying to retreat, doesn't allow him to do so, and then it's just a firing squad up against those USPs. So a good aggressive play from GamerLegion to find their 3rd in a row, and finally for them, getting a little bit of something on this T side. But this is another important round. I'd say a 6-6 is what they absolutely need. Maka finds the opening immediately on Acor, who has had no impact so far with the AWP.
Oh, he's been getting deleted. Getting erased. Maka's pretty quick on that trigger, so he's a tough guy to be going up against, and they're consistently finding each other. A lot of times we talk about it, Oppers most often wind up hunting rifles, but this time seems to be a sniper's duel. Graffiti committing! I like the idea, but this time it's going to cost him. ZTR able to fend him off. Trying to go for a little bit of a smoke pop, but that actually just winds up giving them the tracers. XSC's was there on the flank. Finds 2, cleans out the cave, and the E-box gives his teammates a chance to breathe. Rez is going to look to create here. XSC's, there's no crowd yet. That doesn't work yet.
Yeah, seriously.
Gotta wait.
Well, he's having fun.
Making his predictions. He has found his contact. That's Rez. That's the bomb spotted as well. So that's some information given over with only 35 seconds as well. PR still trying to work this B control. Gonna wind up deleting Maka. What a shot. Confidence peeks out. This guy's so crispy. But that's gonna call the bomb back over. They might expect this to be the lighter site. And there's still 2 players here in defense. So PR's got to do work. And shot down at the wrong moment. Rez committed now 20 seconds. 2 players to find. Molotov in his face. Well, it's just an incendiary actually. So a chance to make something of this, but a chance denied.
Yeah, a really good hold there from GamerLegion. Unfortunate again for, from 3D Max. Unfortunate again for GamerLegion. Acor can't win that duel with Maka. He's had, I think, 2-3 cracks at it, and every single time, as you mentioned, Maka's just too quick for him. And he can't seem to get the edge, and once that happens, it just feels like everything starts piling up. Of course, XRC's charging out into Canal. They've been doing this for the entire half so far of 3D Max, just making life difficult for GamerLegion, not letting them feel comfortable going for their set plays towards that B site when already the set plays are more difficult with the sub in there. They're playing this right.
Just want to let
7-3 in their favor. So go ahead, Mike.
beats hit here for a second.
Sure.
Oh no.
We're back.
No, I let the beats hit for too long.
Yeah.
No, not again.
What have you done? What have you done, Mike?
All right, this one's on me. Whose headset's off? Who's looking where? In the what? In the when where? All the headsets are on.
C'est bien les gars. À PG on fait des beaux roules les gars.
Trying to discern what I can with my French. That's about 15 years out of date here.
Mine's pretty good, so I'm trying to listen to Mike.
You do live in a French-speaking place.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm hearing is les gars, which is...
Yeah, that's all I heard too. I couldn't get enough audio on that. Maybe they can turn it up for us.
Give us the leaks. Give us the leaks. Westing, tell us the strat.
Fairly sure they're just cheering them on. There's not much they can say, of course, in the tech pause, right, Mike? So
Yeah. Well,
oh well.
I would say he thought it was about to be done, and then now we're back to tech.
Yeah.
Back into the woods. All right, so what were we talking about last time? We were talking about allergies. We got fidget habits. What's next on my list of random things to fill a tech pause with?
What about video games you're playing? How about that one, Mike?
Ooh, I've been playing a little bit of Magic the Gathering. Because that's
Really?
taking over the talent space right now. Yeah, Scrawny has infected a lot of us with the sickness. So I've been learning. I found a deck from the newest expansion that I've quite enjoyed. I've been rising up the ranks on Arena. So that's what I've been working with lately, John. That's been the last few weeks. I was out in Copenhagen with some of the guys, and Scrawny had brought Commander decks, and we played some games. And
So you played physical Magic the Gathering, not
we
digital.
played physical out there, and then I've been playing digital since. I have yet to buy physical cards, but I know Machines have been building some decks. Richie Lou's got some decks. I think Bleb might start traveling with decks. Vu was breaking them out. It's spreading. It's spreading like a sickness.
That's wild. I mean, last time I remember seeing I'm not really in the know with Magic the Gathering, but when I was in high school, which was a very long time ago, I'm a little older. All right. Anyway, let's not get into that. But they had people coming in on the lunch table, always having decks, and there were Magic the Gathering, groups that were playing and stuff like that. And I'm surprised to see it making a comeback in the talent scene, but that's cool. Not too shabby at all. Yeah, I've been playing some Expedition 33, Mike. Claire Obscure Expedition 33. That game, if you like JRPGs, guys, if you're out there and you love those, or if you played Persona games, things like that, and you like those, definitely give Expedition 33 a try. I've absolutely loved it in terms of, it's really made turn-based gaming, it's revived it a lot in terms of that style of play for RPGs, because a lot of people don't really like it. So yeah, go try it if you haven't, guys.
All right, we're back. We're back in. John's made his gaming recommendations. I've talked about my new addiction, my strange new addiction, and we're back in. And away we go. James Z in chat asking about my dog. I've got the dog cam. If we have another very long tech pause, I don't know if we can break that out.
I need to set up a second cam for my dogs.
We could just have a full-on our dogs doing a death segment.
Yes.
Hopefully we don't need to go there. Hopefully we don't need to go there, and the tech demons have been chased away. Aggressive control here from Exorcist. Gonna try and overwhelm him. They got a good idea, but there's that push out of cave as well, so it's a two-part approach. And GamerLegion deal with it ably. That's a tough setup at times, but they wait out the initial burst of util so that they've got a little bit more comfort to go for it. And the aggression is costly here for 3D Max. But when this team gets caught out in their aggression, well, they double down. That's what they're about. An Acorn. Now, there we go. First landed op shot. The juice is flowing.
It's all you need sometimes, right? Just one shot to connect. He gets the nerves out of there, because certainly there's some nerves for him. He wants to perform when he hasn't been on a big stage for quite some time, and he wants to contribute to his squad. So finally connecting that shot will loosen him up a bit. Body and Graffiti are still here towards the B side, and this is where GamerLegion are executing towards. This will be trouble, Mike.
Graffiti Holding the line. Health getting very low here. This is a doable 1v2. Body finds the first. Now it's just Towson. No health, no bomb planted. No time either. Molotov spread gives a little bit of a tick. Makes Body uncomfortable, but he just needs to land one bullet and he knows it. Towson just trying to play peekaboo around the corner of this obelisk. Needs to find the flank. It's desperation here. And now out of time, out of chances. That's an 8th round on an insult. The injury. Towson dropped.
After time. Oh my goodness. That is so tough. Body playing hide and seek beautifully. That's 3D Max coming out with an 8th. And I mean, look, it was a great read from 3D Max. Last two players gambled right onto that B site. They were ready to greet all of GamerLegion coming in, and they get the first frag, which is most important. You see the celebration, as they should, given a situation that wasn't the best for them and a man disadvantage. But they still make it work. And at the end, the 1v1, we already talked about it. Brilliantly done from Body. And now they have a chance to go 9-3 on their CT side of Anubis.
That's not a chance GamerLegion like. They're not loving how this has gone, for obvious reasons. The young guns are hitting right now in PR and Towson, and you're probably not expecting that much out from the op input. We had A-Core start to get activated last round, but really, if you're going to have somebody be the talisman to light the way, it might need to be Rez to tilt the scales here, but maybe the moment to do that was a few rounds ago. Maka on the line, likely going to have some opportunities here. As he actually backs away and adjusts. Tips them off to where he is, but aggression out A main. Works out beautifully for Towson. Trades out PR, gives them some space, gives them a route in towards a bomb plant as well. And as Maka has repositioned, they knew he was out towards Temple, so they have no fear of the op being just around the corner. Holding this at bay. It's the last round, so obviously 3D Max are going to go for this, but this is a very unfavorable retake scenario. Even more so as a Smoke Bloom's camera. Maka has to connect on this next round of Fade. They get some space. Make some, at least in the channel between the smokes, but losing Maka means it's all in the Body. First one found. 2 more targets. Plucked above the box. He does so. Body is making this possible. Molly to force the peak, but Towson is good for it. Massive round from Towson to give GamerLegion a chance. We'll be right back. We're back in, locked in for the second half, as it was a strong showing from 3D Max. A little bit of sweetness to cap off at the end there. But GamerLegion, they get one. They get 3 more to go along with it. Is it enough here, John?
I'm going to have to say no. I really don't think so. It's a map that GamerLegion have struggled on over the last 3 months. And yes, you've seen struggles 3D Max side. You could say over there, oh yeah, look, they lost to FaZe, they lost to Aurora, 13-0'd by FaZe, 13-5 against Aurora. But still, even throughout all of that, they've got a 55.6% win percentage on their T rounds. And on CT rounds, actually only 30%. For them to get 8 in that first half with only a 30% win rate on CT rounds, that's fantastic. And I just don't see a path back in for GamerLegion. We're going to see Lucky get a couple here to make the case for 3D Max even more as a 4v3 advantage materializes.
A little bit of an exchange. Through the smoke they go in towards A. Towson can't hold on. He had some really big moments in the first half to make rounds possible. Can think of at least two rounds that were strictly up to Towson to make a possibility, but this time can't hang. Unrez removed, spotted, 1v4, totally away from the team. I'm actually surprised by how aggressively they're moving out with 3 players. Oh my goodness. It'll work out. They hunt him down. No quarter given here as 3D Max just continue to flow into every fight they can find.
You have to imagine throwing that many numbers in that direction should be fine, especially since it's so far away from the bomb site, Mike. But yeah, definitely we've seen things go completely awry in those types of situations, especially in pistol rounds where 3 shots can make the difference against 3 players, right? So anyway, it's all good for 3D Max that time. 9-4 in their favor. GamerLegion not getting the pistol round, which we already talked about before. It's important to find that pistol round CT side of Anubis. You can rack up the rounds quickly in the early goings, but because they don't get it,
look at how quick they're hitting.
Pace. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, taking that B site immediately. And for GamerLegion, who are playing a little bit further off of it, I mean, look, we didn't expect much in this round, but we're not going to get much either. The MAC-10 starting to farm up some capital. A desperate jump through the smoke for Acor. Trying to get a little something going, but certainly this round's not in question. Unless... No. No, it is not.
Not at all. I mean, you never know with those pistols what can happen, but certainly just the pace that was introduced there by 3D Max in the round, how quickly they were going to that B site, and GamerLegion not being on that site, were stacked in the other direction. Yeah, there was really very little chance of victory with how limited the economy was. So it's already 3D Max hitting double digits. Now the guns should come out for GamerLegion as they opt against the force buy, which been seeing a lot of teams go into that force buy in round number 2 after the pistol, even after losing it, and it just hasn't really been happening here. I would expect GamerLegion would have wanted to get a little more desperate, maybe risk things a little bit more, but they decide not to. They want this full buy to come through. A critical round, no question. And I think 3D Max, yeah, they've upgraded past those MAC-10s.
They have. Well, they didn't bring any through.
Oh, that's right.
They dropped both. Right. So no need for that. Nice early damage. PR down to 1 HP. Stay away from those flames. PR, run, PR, run. He's out of there. Repositioning here, but losing the player in towards the middle means that this gets even tougher. I mean, this might just be a save. It's absurd to say because of the scoreline that we're looking at, but how do you expect to get
There's no choice. You don't. I mean, look, you have 1 HP for PR, and Towson and Acor do have the full health, but there's nothing you can do. You've already lost B site. You've got to go for the save if you want to even have a chance of coming back into this one. But to be honest, it kind of already feels over, Mike.
Yeah.
3D Max have really been having their way with GamerLegion.
I do like, this is just a nice thing to say for 3D Max. Sometimes we just define them as hyper-aggressive in all situations, and you can see in this round they're not. They knew they had the situation under control, so they just hit the pause button, they hit the chill. They know they've already basically got the site, so there's no harm in just letting XSCs cook through middle to make sure that Temple's clear, to make sure that there's no surprises waiting for them. It's exactly what they do, and it now means he could be a little further afield to go for this hunt, because every gun they drop at this point is going to be another dagger in the back of the GamerLegion. Even just 1 for 5 here would be worth it on the exchange. First body drops, a second as well. It falls to PR with 1 HP to try and go play hide and seek.
Oh my goodness.
He's going to make it through.
Maka might, no. No, he doesn't. Yeah, you're right. He's tucked in far enough. Doesn't matter. But that is absolutely worth celebrating for 3D Max. They win the round. They take 2 guns out of the hands of GamerLegion, who were just desperately trying to save them over to the next round. Economy is going to be completely shot. Confidence is as well already. And, I mean, perhaps their thoughts are leaning towards Ancient at this point anyway, which hopefully for their sake will go better. But I mean, we're still not done here. They're going to force up a buy. They got 2 MP9s, 2 FAMASas, and the M4, but it feels like the aggression from 3D Max, as you mentioned, Mike, they did fall off it a little bit in that previous one, but throughout the series it has been pretty consistent. They've been getting to the face of GamerLegion, not letting them get comfortable, and that has been their secret to success.
They're expecting something here. They're knowing that GamerLegion is starting to get desperate. This is why you're seeing them hold a little bit further back, anticipating some sort of aggression coming through. It's often what you'd see in one of these more limited rounds where you have the MP9s, where you have to try and give something. So now, having had that initial utility exchange, knowing that every bit of nadage that comes out here for GamerLegion is going to be so dear, now 3D Max start to work the control in towards middle. GL have stacked up 2 here. That Sprite doesn't find home. And actually, Rez is going to be able to catch the first. So a little bit of an off angle here. Unexpected, but as he tries to double dip, he finds his hand gets slapped away. Towson painted into a corner, eliminated, dropped down. Acor brings back 1 at the least. I don't know that that's enough here. And as Acor is taken out of play, ZTR feels he has to be the hero. It's been a quiet map, but if there's time to step up, it's here and now.
Ooh.
Bomb spotted, drop down, good damage done into a 2-on-2. He's giving them a chance. And burning, because he has to give up the angle. And look at this. They're not going to know that PR has actually slid into the gap at A. This could catch them off guard. This could be huge. PR repositions all the way out towards main. Here on the fountain. Just gotta pick his timing, gotta find his moment. But if that bomb goes down, oh, they played it safe from him. Good awareness. So PR, he can punish as the player gets off of that bomb, but he can't hold on past that. And now it comes down to a duel. ZTR cannot hold on. Map point for 3D Max.
Look, a fantastic effort from ZTR, especially in the mid-round when that smoke is up. He's trying to use the fact that they don't know he's there to his advantage. He does get 1, spams through the smoke. It almost connects on the second, but it's just a couple of bullets short from finding that frag. And, well, as a result, yes, they do get the bomb plant, but you see, 3D Max, they like to get loud, Mike, and they are celebrating every single round, hoping to get into the heads of GamerLegion. At this point, I mean, they've got every advantage they could possibly want, 12-4 in their favor, and here we go, potentially the last round of this map.
Yeah, they're choking out GamerLegion at this point. I mean, we saw the last gasps. You could see them going for more aggressive moves, some more desperate individual plays, and at moments, it looked like it was going to work. So I think GamerLegion, they gave themselves a chance, but ultimately, the lights are turning out here for GamerLegion on Anubis. Towson slides out just as they fill the space. Able to get that smoke down somehow unpunished as well. No real damage lost, so that is excellently done from Towson. And a fight here in middle. It's a 1-for-1.
That's tough, though. This is GamerLegion hoping to get an advantage. At least they get the trade, right? But this still favors 3D Max.
The question's going to be this fight between PR and Lucky when the smoke fades out B main. They're currently threatening A, and actually going through. That was so bold, but again, he manages to get the trade. And now they've realized where the light site is. Based on the numbers that were stacked up, based on the utility that they were seeing, they've got a very good idea that space is being afforded to them. And it is just PR. His vision slightly blocked by the smoke. Maka will plant that bomb around him. Does PR make a move now, or does he wait for his teammates to get here? He tries to make the move, tries to be the hero. And now they might just wind up with 0 in this half. Towson. Desperation denied. 3D Max smooth sailing through on Anubis. 13-4. It is dominant.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. I mean, it looked like from beginning to end that 3D Max weren't going to be touched. Just make this one work. And
meanwhile, a 3D Max team that when they smell blood in the water, they swarm. They swarmed on Anubis that second half. They never gave GamerLegion a chance to catch their breath. They don't tend to change once they've got that taste, once they've got that space. They're just going to keep pressing it until you force them to adapt. Starting on the CT side here for 3D Max. Ease GamerLegion's pick, as we previously defined. 3D Max going to move the bulk of the presence on towards B. Pretty normal setup. Body a little bit of the Joker piece here moving around, but now it's Maka who catches a kill. Space and a spot and a second found as well. Oh, this is very nice indeed for 3D Max, and it goes from bad to worse for GamerLegion as they lose the cave fight. Means that it's on to just Towson and Acor to try and make this happen. Towson's position revealed, and he wasn't able to find the kill in the process. He will on the second swing, and Acor brings one back, and suddenly we have a round, John. And they've gone so quick that there's still plenty of time, but it's going to have to be Acor. He's going to have to clutch this up. He could get a bomb. We could see right now that there's a window to get a bomb plant, but he wants to see if he can't get a kill first. So Acor moving out into the donut. Might have just missed his window to plant that C4. And he'll miss his window to win the round.
Oh, that was tough. It looked like GamerLegion might have been threatening a little bit, but another pistol round goes the way of 3D Max. Every single one going their way so far. And you see here, Maka has been quite a big piece for them, honestly, has shined with the op, and now with the pistols into this round. You see there was a little bit of space, like we were talking about. Towson gets one, and then Acor finds a push that's coming through, but there's still a man disadvantage situation regardless, and then once Acor loses his reinforcements, nothing can really happen towards, I believe, the B site that he was trying to go to. So, GamerLegion, you see the odds there? It looks like, yeah, it feels that way for sure coming into this map. But hey, look, it's just map number one. Or round number one, excuse me. Round number two coming through here. Exorcise engaging. Lucky gets one as well, but ZTR manages to get one back, and that could lead to a bomb plant. This is actually good, Mike, for their economy, getting the bomb plant and a chance to win the round as well.
So they get one of these on Anubis. As we saw then, the chance slips away pretty quick. But it is still the moral victory. You've got the money at the very least. It's actually exactly what happened on Anubis, if you'll recall. But a moral victory does at least give you a chance. It's this next round where they have to capitalize, though, John. Last time they couldn't.
Yes.
This time they have to capitalize on the opportunity they've afforded themselves.
Yeah, that bomb plant wasn't really coming through for them either when they were on their T side of Anubis, so hopefully they can try and get something strong going here. It's going to be the AKs and the full util in round number 3. If you don't get it here, GamerLegion, things are going to only get more difficult. Don't want to have to continue fighting from behind. And you see on the 3D Max side, yes, it's a quote-unquote bonus round, but still they've got 3 rifles, a FAMAS, and an MP9 full util. It's looking pretty potent, so it's up to GamerLegion to find a way to crack through. And you see a lot of util being thrown here by 3D Max and GamerLegion into mid, but not much of that mid aggression coming through from 3D Max that you would expect to see from them the way they played on Anubis, but this time they're just kind of letting it go.
You're going to throw the consistent util, right? That's going to create the expectation of the aggression, but this is actually where they take it. They take the B main control, and they've got the player pushed up on tree. Shadow's spotted now, so Exorcise knows he's able to catch the first, but they're not going to expect the second player to be boosted up, and that's exactly what Bowdy is counting on. He's dropped the bomb. Now he gets slipped in towards A main, so these players, they gained all the space in towards mid, but it was all a trap, all to lure them in. Brilliantly designed, and it's up to Rez to now try and solve this puzzle in a 1 versus 3. I love that design. Maybe they were hoping that GamerLegion would respect the mid utility and not take the space, but in finding that space, they thought they'd found a trick. They thought they'd found an idea. And it was all bait, John.
Oh, it really was. Oh, that's so beautiful, though. Like, obviously, that second player not expected body, so he's good for at least 1. You'd maybe think the trade comes through, but no, he even gets that second frag as well. And then they walk right out of Donut thinking, okay, we can engage with that guy. There's no way they have a third player on the A site, right? Wrong. Maka's waiting right outside the Catacombs exit, and he manages to get one. It's so beautifully done.
We got to lock in. Rez is giving himself a chance here. The Molotov makes it difficult. Trying to recover this, trying to retrieve it, can get towards the C4, using his bullets just to pin in body. The plant is going to be the real test, and yeah, as he's wasting more time with this A main fight, he lost his chance, and he'll lose the fight as well.
That's so well played as well. You know, things got a little bit hairy towards the tail end. I think they were still in control for 3D Max. They realize it, and they just fall off a little bit further into the distance there in A main, making sure that, yes, maybe if he tries to recover the bomb, he could grab it, but often the case will be that they can just peek around that corner and prevent him from doing so. They didn't even have to do that. He was hunting for that frag. He knew that someone was there, and it just didn't happen. So 3D Max win another important round, and GamerLegion are relegated down to pistols. They do have the hero Galil coming through, and body's already been dropped by said Galil. That's really nicely done.
Maybe a misread, not expecting that hero rifle to come through, but still not having enough timing. Now it's dropped, but a dink landed on Gravity. The players being plucked away in towards mid. Maka with that op. He was ferocious on Anubis. He's going to be much the same here. Lucky overextends, gets punished, slapped on the wrist for it. You know, the Graviti's so low here. The HEs are risky, but they don't find him. It's Maka who's trying to come in to support his teammate. Graviti playing off the flashbang, beautifully spotting up the last. And that spot will let Maka hit the shot.
Maka's looking so good right now, honestly. He keeps hitting his shots consistently. He's shutting down players left, right, and center. And even when there is that question of a threat coming through from GamerLegion, it's not just Maka, it's the entire squad holding aggressive angles right into the faces of GamerLegion. And they continue to get excited and pumped here, and as they absolutely should be. This is a great start for them on their opponent's map pick. 4-0 in the lead. Now the gun's going to come out for GamerLegion once more. The 4 AKs and the Galil. And you thought, I mean, it was a good effort, honestly, with the Galil getting that opener.
Sure.
But again, the pressure continues to be applied.
I mean, these are the moments where these young guns can create, but Mons can get stifled all too quickly. They gain space on A, but into the donut fight. A 1-for-1. Looks out in their favor. Do they expect Body to still be here? Graffiti plucked. The op still here. The bomb dropped down. Players in middle, but for the moment, Towson has to work as a solo unit. No. Back into Body. Oh, that's a disaster. There's nothing that PR and Rez can really do about this. They've got a minute to try and figure out how to get back into the action here, John, but they're so separated.
It's tough for Towson too, right? Because he's trying to rejoin with his teammates, and he can't really get there. He knows that there's probably a fight waiting for him, and he's stranded with the bomb. In the end, Body outplays him there in Donut, and now, yeah, it's a real difficult task up ahead for PR and Rez to try and recover this bomb. Body gets mollied out of position, so there's a good frag to come through. Down to a 2v2, 40 seconds left. They've still got time, but they've got to get a move on, and Maka is holding the line here towards the A site, which feels like the ultimate destination. Maka misses the shot, has to retreat into Catacombs. This could lead to a bomb plant now, and look where Lucky is on this flank. Uh-oh.
Oh boy, that's that C4 dropped again. So no chance at the plant. They had the moment. They created the space. Rez has created the window, but PR sticking around behind. Means it's right back to the drawing board. Nearly finds Maka. Look, the health is low, but once again, this is similar to that A main clutch. There's just not enough time. 10 seconds. 8 seconds. They might just give him the space, but he tries to slip into one more fight, and Rez, you just do not have enough clock.
Counter-terrorists win.
Oh man, that is a tough pill to swallow for the GamerLegion side, right? They finally get some space, have an opportunity at a bomb plant, and it's swiped away because 3D Max just don't stop moving. They don't stop hunting for that map control on their defensive side, and Lucky crept his way all the way into Donut. PR was looking for a potential flank, but there's no way he expected Lucky to be that far forward, and you saw it in his reaction. Lucky gets the easy one, and then they don't really allow the space for the bomb planter to get that down to dirt. So 5-0, timeout called for GamerLegion again. They called the timeout at 5-0 on the previous map. They're doing it again here. They need answers, but there's just nothing coming through.
No. It's a tough situation, and I mean, they know it, but these are the moments where you do need some sort of resolve, some sort of extra spark coming through. You look towards the coach and Ash maybe to provide some answers, and not finding it quite yet. So it was looking like more traditional mid-utility, but they don't actually go into it. Hide the smoke for the moment. Here comes the brawl, here comes the spray. Rez able to catch one. This hero rifle working out. Rez showing us what we needed. Talked about him being maybe able to individually light the way. And it's still going to require him. ZTR out of play. XFC's filling back in that space, and Rez gone. Those rifles drop down, but they've rerouted. They've drawn everyone from 3D Max into this defensive B, and that means that there's a chance to get this bomb planted. Now, whether they can defend it once it's down, that's a different question, but at least for the moment, A-Core, if he gets a move on... Oh, no, he's coming back. Oh, no! The window missed again! And PR spotted. They know where he is. He's going to land that shot, but there's so much more work to do here for PR. That Deagle can be lethal. We know that. And they're going to give him the space to retrieve the C4.
He wants a gun first, which I guess makes sense. I probably would have recommended something other than the op, but that's what was available for him. Let's see if he can get into the bomb site.
Were those footsteps in Donut heard? I believe they were.
Yeah, maybe.
I think Buddy has
Either
awareness.
way, he's still got such a tough path. No matter where he goes, he's going to run into someone, and Exorcist is going to have an easy one here. He's got all the information. That'll do it. 6-0 for 3D Max. Like, I mean, they can't buy a bomb plant at this point. I thought they were just going to rush right into the site, but they get caught by Maka, who's always on their tail. And they can't even get the plant. Rez got the openers. We talked about it before, right? Yeah. He's that player that needs to get into the opening duels and winning them. That was there this round, but maybe the fact they had the lack of firepower factored into their inability to really find a follow-up there.
Well, it feels like the cohesion's just wrong, right? There's too many moments where they're of two ideas, where you can see one player starting to execute, and I mean, part of that might be the standard situation, just getting on the same page. That round, you certainly saw it, where if A-Core had been able to get in towards Donut earlier, but he's sort of between two minds. It's like, do I go mid with my teammate? Do I go Donut? Oh, okay, I'm supposed to go Donut. Oh, wait, I'm backing out. Oh, wait, there's an ult. The window was just missed. Body, that's a fortunate break for him.
Okay, one back.
Put an op on the line. Shot missed. Advantage here for GamerLegion. Desperately needed. If they split him towards B, well, there's not a whole lot of defenders left. Graviti. Erased. ZTR. Putting the team on his back in this one. And Maka's just going to have to save. Unless.
They're trying to fight him. Yeah, they do win that duel with A-Core getting that frag and probably going to grab the op off the ground. So there's the free upgrade to the AWP. That was the most convincing round we've seen so far from GamerLegion throughout this entire series. So good to see them finally clicking there, getting the opener they were hoping for. I mean, even though Body gets the first, it's ZTR right on back against Lucky, who's trying to boost over that smoke. And then you have Towson along with Rez activating in key moments to open up the space and leave really very little chance at 3D Max from coming through things. And we're going to have another timeout being called here. Yeah, you need a lot more of that. I don't know if they'll be able to do this consistently, but that was one of those rounds where you talked about it, Mike. You know, it felt like the cohesion, felt like everything was a little bit off. That time, it didn't. And
it's all a little better when things click early, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because they didn't really have to worry about the mid round, right? Because they got those opening frags and they just went right into it.
Interesting that they break off of that. That the second timeout's used off of that, of trying to, knowing that on Anubis, when they finally broke the route, it was actually exactly this scoreline, wasn't it? It was 6-1.
It was, yes. It's like a crazy mirror image.
3D Max still managed to find ways to halt their momentum. But once again, as well, despite the 6-0, there's not a lot of money here for 3D Max. Too many of these rounds came down close, came down to the clutch. 3D Max, they play a boisterous style. That means that here they have to eco.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those rounds end up really close thanks to some late round efforts from GamerLegion to damage the economy. And you're seeing 6 rounds in a row. Usually you'd have a buy-up in the bank, but they don't. They could have forced, but they decide against it. They don't need to with this type of lead already built up on Ancient. Duel could be happening here in Red Room shortly. Maka has slipped through. That's interesting. So both players walking past each other, and then PR realizes it after he gets dinked, but still a little bit of damage done by Maka. Stack is on the A site. I think that 3D Max will, GamerLegion will realize that.
Yeah.
And they will get a free plant end round.
The new danger in this round is just PR dying and giving his AK over in a savable position. That's the biggest threat to GamerLegion. This round is unlikely to be in doubt, though they're going to go see what they can do with these naked pistols. Like feeling the breeze. Some dinks on. PR, though, deals with the donut player. And despite the damage, it seems unlikely there's going to be any upgrades available. And A-Core gets to farm some ecos. That's good.
Hey,
Get some confidence.
some stat padding, right? Let's see it.
A little money
Hey,
for your
Cor-
upper, you know, get some juices flowing. Maybe he's a rifler now, whatever it is. Something to make it more comfy.
Again, though, we were saying the same thing on Anubis in almost the exact same point of the first half. So, GamerLegion, let's see if they can get that third. They had that 3-round win streak over on Anubis as well, but it didn't really materialize into anything. I think they're hoping for a lot more right here. Maka's got the op back in his hands. That's really what they were saving for because he's been so effective at finding opening frags and just generally having impacts on pretty much every single round. And now you see Rez going to be behind ZTR as they look to push potentially through this smoke. They've got the flashes. You'd think they want to use it, but right now, playing contact off the fade. Risky. Flashbang goes in. They do win the opening duel here. Mike ZTR onto Graviti. Did they know Lucky's here? I think they do, and they wipe him off the map. That said, Maka activates for one, swings around, can't get a second. This is looking great for GamerLegion.
It is indeed. It is indeed lighting their path back into this. With PR on the other side of the map as well. Picking your saving positions is going to be tricky here for 3D Max. They seem to have the right idea. We should get out towards spawn. But this is quite the turnaround.
Yeah.
Quite the turnaround indeed. And the difference this time, of course, is that 3D Max chose to start on the defense. So it's not like Anubis where you're thinking, well, it's going to get worse when they swap sides. If GamerLegion can do enough here, they're giving themselves a real chance.
Yeah, Ancient, a very different map from Anubis. When it first came out, exceptionally CT-sided, especially considering how the spawns were formulated at the beginning, but now they've changed that and it's become a very balanced map, and as a result, a lot of teams like to play it. So we're going to see who will be able to gain the edge here with GamerLegion finding 3 in a row. Finally, a timeout forced out of 3D Max.
Well, they're probably discussing what they want to do in this round, right? They've got the 2 rifles.
Yeah.
Could justify a little bit of a force around them. Could justify a full force around them, frankly, if you have a game plan for what you want to do. So a discussion between Buddy and Wasink as they talk through what it is they want, or if they're saving for the next rifle round, where theirs are going to go. Maka as well, of course, in the conversation here. That's the primary caller these days.
All right, well, how are they going to deploy these 2 rifles is the question. Do you stack them both on one site, or do you split them up? It looks like the answer is stack them both on one site and keep a couple of pistols there as well for good measure. Are they just going to push up? It wouldn't surprise me, given it's 3D Max. And it looks like they want to at least gain space into Jaguar and Cave. So that will give them some sort of information should they push out, which Body wants to do. He's not going to see anything. They could get it on the flank here, Mike.
Oh boy. Oh, Rez is aware. Great awareness coming through from Rez. He has woken up massively and limits what 3D Max wanted to do. This could still get spicy with the timing through the smoke. The first player out, now they know they're looking their way. So it might just be time to withdraw without anyone else. Get on out of here and live to fight another day.
I mean, this is that 4th round that GamerLegion were looking for in Anubis that never materialized. Now they're going to get it unless things go absolutely horribly wrong, which won't happen because Exorcise is saving, right? So they've got it under their belts, and it will be only 2 rounds separating these 2 squads. 6-6 would be phenomenal for GamerLegion the way this one started out.
It would be. It would be indeed. It's maybe going to be reminiscent of Anubis, where the remainder of the game plan is like just maximize these last couple of gun rounds to try and sneak 1 or 2 more through the goalpost here for 3D Max. Now that the momentum's turned a little bit against you, just keep GamerLegion from building up too good of a vibe. Vibe-based Counter-Strike, everyone knows, is the way forward. Yeah, this is really, you already talked about it, Mike, but fantastic awareness from Rez.
waiting and watching for that flank to come through. He was the only player really ready for that. Everyone else was focused on the forward fight, and he delivers both frags, so no one really able to threaten at all on 3D Max throughout the entirety of the round. Now GamerLegion are looking to up the tempo again, but Exorcist is ready this time with the A1S in his hands. Finds the opening frag. Rez looking for some action. Finds 1 and 2. Oh my goodness. What a play from Rez again to give his team the advantage.
Look, we were calling him out on Anubis, a little bit missing, a little bit limp. He's been anything but here. The X Factor, the commanding presence. Towson does get slapped on the nose. Trying to slip through a main. Means that this is going to be a B hit, and 3D Max, they're far back, but they are positioned for this, and timely smoke to block off the cave. Counter smoke comes back through, indicates where this is headed. A minute on the clock, but 3 defenders here for 3D Max. They're waiting with HEs. Oh my goodness, Acor. Oh no, Acor. Goodbye. He's alive somehow, but the flames will extinguish. At least he could get that bomb planted.
That was a crazy usage of pretty much all their utility to get rid of Acor. Bomb is planted, and you got 2 players in cave, which is a pretty powerful position for
Oh, CTR's in trouble.
GamerLegion. Yeah.
CTR's in trouble. That incendiary clears out one. Now it's all on to Rez. They've got a good idea where he is. He takes the Molotov now, so they know. They know. And they're just getting stuck on in. Rez, he takes the 1, but attempts the transfer, and Graffiti is able to punish. This round is going the way of 3D Max.
Wow, what a setup they had with the remaining utility. It's like, we're committing every single piece of utility to kill the bomb planter. And I mean, I thought it would be the nades too, Mike. Just somehow Acor survives, but it's then the incendiary that does him in. After that, they only have 1 piece of util left, but they don't need it. They just take those fights and go in confidently. So very well done for 3D Max to recover that round. And unfortunate again for GamerLegion, who whenever it feels like they're gaining a little bit of momentum, even off of Rez, finding those 2, they can't convert.
Frustrating for sure. That one should have been theirs, but really nice game plan for the retake, for playing off the site. Talk about maximizing your util. Maka lost here, in towards cave, and Graffiti limited. He's been struggling as the primary Jaguar cave player to get going. Would love to win this fight with Rez, but is wary about it, and Rez now spotting both players, knowing that they pulled further off. Knows he's creating a ton of space for his team, but his team are taking advantage of that in a different way. They're actually sliding onto the other site. 2 players here to sell this fake, and in the meantime, well, they've taken A.
That's a really gorgeous fake, and I mean, it keeps getting better here for GamerLegion. All the frags going their way. It only is a single body. Kept fighting towards the B site, and honestly, it almost felt like for the entirety of the round that 3D Max were convinced that's where the hit was going, and it never actually was. Beautifully played by GamerLegion, and they do indeed find a 5th, so this back and forth play now is promising for the GamerLegion side.
Taking over control, can you feel it? Our bodies moving closer, is it real? Trying to lose myself on the night shift, outside, yeah. Alright, baby, can you feel me? Come and try it. I'm ready to move for the night, yeah. Trying to lose myself on the night shift, outside, yeah. Taking over control, can you feel it? Our bodies moving closer, is it real? Trying to lose myself on the night shift, outside, yeah. Baby, can you feel me? Come and try it. I'm ready to move for the night, yeah. Trying to lose myself on the night shift, outside, yeah. Taking over control, can you feel it? Our bodies moving closer, is it real? Trying to lose myself on the night shift, outside, yeah. Alright, baby, can you feel me? Come and try it. I'm ready to move for the night, yeah. Trying to lose myself.
A lead, but not nearly as substantial for 3D Max. GamerLegion finding their footing. Rez finding his preferred res, perhaps, because he is locked in here on Ancient.
Yeah.
They're gonna need a whole lot more of that, John.
I think it's not only in his gameplay, the calling as well. You felt it really came through in that last round. The fake was beautifully done. Frags were coming through on the B site. They convinced 3D Max that it would go in that direction. It didn't. Now Thompson is going to get the opener, and Acor, another GamerLegion coming alive here on Ancient. But they need to get more here. His body does find a response.
Oh, that was supposed to be the trap for PR, but he couldn't land the shot. ZTR, fortunately, corrects that mistake. But Herd getting close. Graffiti was waiting for that to spring the trap, and now... Well, this is kind of interesting, because they actually did have the space out towards A, but understandably, GamerLegion are adjusting, rotating in to try and compensate for that, and maybe even prep for the smoke pop, but they're starting to realize they've been hoodwinked. They've been bamboozled. They are befuddled. As this bomb finds its way to a plant, and Body and Graffiti will have all the chance they want
Bomb has been planted.
to pick their spots.
And those dualies long range aren't going to be great either for Towson. And realizing that, 3D Max is going to tuck themselves around corners, trying to take favorable engagements. Towson has the right idea, looking in towards default, and Acor is going to drop that body. Graffiti, last one standing, and he's going to get one. Can he get the second as well? Looks like it now. Acor, finally the hero at 3K for him in the pistol round. Does he have enough time for the defusal is the question.
Just enough, I think. Oh.
I don't know.
Yes, he's got it.
Wow.
Not a second to spare there. Beautiful play with the pistols here for Acor. That's got to feel damn good. Starts it off, closes it down. Graffiti actually positioned himself really nicely in that 1v1, but at the end of the day, in pistol rounds, it's all about the headshot. And that is one hell of a clutch coming through. So you're telling me there's a chance?
More than a chance, Mike. It's GamerLegion starting to really rock and roll here on this map, and we kind of expected it given that they've already been comfortable on it in the past. Now finding the rhythm. Acor getting a 3K, positive KDR, waiting here on the site for a chance to farm maybe a few more frags.
Now just don't whiff against pistols, and unfortunately that is easier said than done. Still a teammate here to compensate. The MP9 chewing through these unarmored players like a knife through hot butter. And Maka getting churned on up like the aforementioned butter. Means that the nice start to the A control quickly becomes a bit of a nightmare.
All right. Well, A-Core couldn't do it, but ZTR was good for it with the MP9 from mid-range. Still doing some great work and tied up at 7 now. So we go into round number 15. Here come the guns for the 3D Max side, 4 AKs on the Galil. ZTR already got that util ready. They're trying to get the incendiaries tossed immediately to stop some potential B aggression coming through in the early round. And I mean, it works, even though there wasn't that much presence. There are a couple of players hunting for some space.
Buddy. What you got? Tucked in the corner. You got nothing. You've been spotted. PR catches a body. And they've got some space in towards mid. This could be interesting. ZTR just has an MP9 to defend the angle, defend the corner. Thought A-Core might have rotated back into support, but there's enough noise on A that he's nervous about it. Good damage, but the kill goes the way of Lucky. And look at this Nucleus moving through. It might be Tosa next up to the plate. Smoked off. Risks the spam, lets them know that he's here, takes some damage in turn. And now with the attempted approach back in towards mid, they're flashing through. They're loath to let these players out of this killing spot. But they made it through the bottleneck. And now it's cost them so very much. GamerLegion, they wanted to keep them contained in Red Room. But it turns out the rent was a little too much to pay. PR, he's going to give this a look. He's got the first. Gives himself a chance to try and take some space. We've seen him hit some nutty clutches in the past. Crisp spam and headshots. That's the name of the game for PR. But it seems like a teammate might have gotten in his ear and said, you know what? Might have to give this one up. Time to back away.
That was really tough for GamerLegion, honestly. They were so committed to the fight in Red Room, and in the end, it's 3D Max who managed to slip through the gap, find their way in towards CT, and they win every single duel in the mid-round to close things out in their favor. 8-7. Sure, PR gets one on the tail end, but Economy is able to stabilize a little bit for the 3D Max side, and they prevent GamerLegion from taking the lead. And just, you see them trying to get back in, but every time they took a step forward, 3D Max were right there to greet them with a few bullets from the AKs.
You can understand the idea, which is that they have them contained. They know they have them stuck. They can collapse upon them, but maybe just a little bit of a mistiming between that flash through the smoke and the timing of the players up and towards mid. Might have thought they were a little closer to it. They committed. They committed, and 3D Max were prepared for it. Got a MAC-10 out here for Graffiti. Didn't need to necessarily do that. Rez finding an early opener as well makes life a little bit easier here. Okay, well, there's the upgrade. So MAC-10's not going to be a problem. PR deleted through the smoke. That's not going to feel nice. And now Rez needs to be careful, otherwise the same's going to be done to him.
Yeah, it's a really good response from 3D Max, honestly, to be able to get one back after losing the first body. And now you see here, they're leaning back in towards a very lightly defended A site. GamerLegion feel like it's going B. You already see Rez fading off. He's still watching into CT, so he can support Towson if he needs it, but this is going to be so much pressure on his shoulders. He might even play for more of a passive/retake setup. He wants to at least make first contact before he makes a decision on how to deploy himself.
They have a player up in tree. They've got a Molotov for this. If they commit the molly to the back of the box, as Rez is in trouble. Nope, they choose big box instead. That's
an interesting decision.
Blessing to them. Now let's see. Rez has an angle. It's Towson actually, behind the boxes. And they're going to be able to capitalize. That one choice seems so minor in the moment.
No, it's not.
But it gives the chance for GamerLegion to win the round.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I understand, right? There could be someone hiding big box, but it feels like they probably would have already activated or looked around at some point. You would have spotted them if you're so far forward out of A main. So might have been better to deploy it towards those boxes there on the bomb site. But I mean, look, we've got all the perspective here, so we have the advantage of looking through everything in that regard. But, you know, either way, nice shot from Rez to open things up there against Maka. It's GamerLegion who are trying to string together a couple more rounds here. Towson tested, has the answer twice, Mike, and Graviti manages to string one together, but it won't be more than that, you'd imagine, as now he's surrounded. The bullets are coming through, and he will get one more. Okay, Graviti slipping through long B. He's got to be greeted by Acor, and there it is. Acor going to give him an off bullet as a gift, and that will be the round for GamerLegion. And finally, Mike, the lead.
The lead. Look, the damage done there, it matters to try and control the CT economy a little bit, but GamerLegion, they're starting to gain this momentum. They're starting to gain this energy. Acor's finding his form, which is huge. Had some big moments. That pistol round in particular, I think, has really changed the confidence level here. And your win conditions are starting to click in here for GamerLegion. So provided they can withstand these Tech 9s, the onslaught of the pistols attempted here. Footsteps certainly heard. Good flashbang to get back through, and PR. Nice control on the spray. A swing back in. They want to give no quarter, and so none will be afforded.
Wow. I mean, look, I know it's just an anti-eco, but still, they really shut them down well. And Rez, in particular, we called him out. You already mentioned it earlier on the map, Mike, but it deserves to mention again now as he's up to 21 frags for the squad. He's getting those opening duels, winning them, and it allows the rest of his team to really get more comfortable as they settle in on the bomb sites. And on this CT side, that has always been good for them. Now they're only 3 rounds away from getting to map number 3 on Nuke for a chance to really get back into this series. Timeout going to be called again by 3D Max. Have to be feeling the pressure. They know how important this round is with the full buy coming through.
Yeah, but they've got the rifles again. That full buy you're talking about, this is going to give them a chance to show us what they want to do here on this attacking side. PR drops some extra nades in spawn, so they can refresh smokes elsewhere. And he's going to get very aggressive here in A main. This is interesting. Different look for PR. Does mean there's no donut control, at least early, and there's no vision in towards mid as well, though for the moment 3D Max are respecting the mid util.
They're choosing to give up mid, Mike.
And there's no way they expect this angle. Oh, Body's aware! But it's a trade at the very least. Body had the idea, but it was sort of a half-hearted check. Still catches one off guard. The question is, was it worth it? Molotov to rumble Rez. But no one moving behind it means that Rez can safely reposition another molly. They're just trying to make him uncomfortable, but he's still finding his kills, and CTR finds the flank.
Oh, man. That's a beautiful flank. That's a gorgeous flank. For ZTR to get 2 frags, the round is done pretty much as a result. Exercise. 44 HP, an AK, a prayer. I don't know. It's so... I don't want to say so little. It's 45 seconds. There's still a chance for him to make a move, but he doesn't have the manpower, and it feels like he just wants to try and save this AK, which makes the most sense. Wow. This has been an insane recovery from GamerLegion. They were down 6-0, and now they're on a 10-2 run, Mike.
When you put it like that, that is quite impressive.
Yeah.
Certainly a good way to engineer some confidence in your squad. Get the juices flowing. Oh no. That kill might have just saved him. Has to deal with Towson still. 5 seconds. Ooh, they're coming for the crunch. They're coming for the crunch. There's the flashbang. I'm going to assume they got the kill from that fist pump, which will mean no money through for Exercise. And that means 3D Max might just be staring down the barrel of a map 3.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm going to have to assume that. Well, we'll see in his money into this next round and what he's bought up. But, well, Maka took the sacrifice. Gave the gun to Exorcise.
Not having a good time here. They're going to fully commit. An AUG is out, and Rez is holding court in mid. He's got his sightlines, he's got his control, and, well, this Galil in the hands of Exorcise seems far from enough. They'll give him the space, though. They got what they wanted. They got the 5v4. They're able to slip away. They're able to slip the gap. And now play a little bit more of a default that PR will make all that much better. Might as well be a battle royale in the middle right now. As 3D Max are getting hunted. Some space in middle. This has been available to 3D Max at various points, but they haven't been able to capitalize with it once they have it.
Yeah. Last time they did was a few rounds ago when GamerLegion thought they had them bottled up, but the timing was a little off, and so was the spacing. So 3D Max were able to get all those frags. But this time, look, PR is going to get one immediately back after ZTR's drop. Body and Maka looking to slip through into CT. There is only one player on the A site, Mike, so this is a chance potentially for a bomb plant if they can isolate A-Core. That's a big if. And A-Core's kind of backing off. He doesn't know they're here yet because they're taking a very slow approach. But now with that util toss, he's probably going to have a peek.
Oh, eliminates the one, the second as well. None shall escape A-Core's gaze. Snappy on the response here, looking like his old self. Had to knock some rust off, you know? The Resident A-Core show. I mean, what year is it?
Indeed. Wow, that was just really well played from A-Core as well. Honestly, like the patience and poise. He didn't try to force anything, didn't try to peek out. He knew they had the advantage, so he just had to wait for information to be given to him. And as soon as he got that info, he was great for the last two frags. And we talked about him not having that much experience on TSM. On Anubis, he played a lot of Ancient, 32 maps of Ancient with the TSM squad, so definitely more comfortable here. And it showed. And I mean, in general, for GamerLegion, they're more comfortable here as a squad. So I think they're really coming together. One more round required, and we are going to be on nuke.
Just nose panpipes, 3D Max. Let them soothe you. Maybe playing your funeral dirge here on Ancient. But there's still more opportunities.
I don't know. Util's so light here, Mike, for them. They have no real X utility at all.
Means they're going to hit quick, which means that as soon as something gets seen, you can tell GamerLegion are expecting it to all be behind this ZTR. Lord of the Cave right now. Whoa, well, maybe Lord of missing his gun. Needs that back. A chance for the reload as they've once again gained the advantage. Pressure on for PR. But the P and the R, they're ready for the pressure. Lucky. Cracks him under said pressure. Apparently the PR stands for Pringles. If you knew that, John. Really? That was revealed recently. His name used to be Pringles, and he shortened it once he realized might be going pro here.
Yeah.
Nice catch for Graffiti. Opens up the possibility of this round. Pulls two players back towards mid as well, and this space allows his teammates to get the bomb down. So that kill might have just given a second life to 3D Max in this round. GamerLegion are wary of a player mid, so they spend a lot of time trying to clear this up to make sure they're not going to get surprised. That flashbang certainly is a surprise. They're exchanging guns. Meanwhile, Exorcise is exchanging life. Now they'll walk back in. This is all heard from Body. If they didn't already know, and now they certainly do. Smoke to block one. Start to get on that bomb. Start to threaten this on the spam. They're off it. They're trying to lure them in. Body's position now revealed. Now they know where both are playing. But knowing and shooting, those are different questions. Tau City's out of time. He knows it. This round's done. He just wants to take Graffiti with him. And no one will survive. But 3D Max at least live on here on Ancient.
Wow, that was so well played in the post plant by 3D Max. You're in a 2v2 scenario. You have the urge always to peek around and try to get information. They deny themselves to following that urge and just wait and wait and wait until time is ticking away and GamerLegion have nothing left to do but fade off into the sunset in that round. Everyone dies, of course, but 3D Max don't care. Yes, it will hurt their buy-up a lot more than it'll hurt Gamer-Legions, but they get around on the board finally here. 3 more in a row just to push overtime. And again, there are those economic limitations. The MAC-10, 3 Galeals, and only the singular AK in Exorcis's hands. PR looking to get aggressive out towards mid. He's got support as well from Rezazog, which has already delivered quite a few key frags. Lucky could be walking into his crosshair, Mike. I think 3D Max wants to try for this, going dry. It's not going to work at all. PR and Rez deliver the bullets onto Lucky, and now ZTR's found Graffiti as well. Could be over here.
Could be indeed. Could be indeed. They need a hero. They need somebody to make some magic happen. It's Graffiti in the last round who found the kill that opened up the possibilities. But this time, those possibilities are looking slim to none. Tracked through the smoke. Maka gone. Falls to just these two. A smoke pop here, a tag up, and a frag to follow, and it falls to body. One man against the world of Gamer-Legion. They are many. And they are gaming. Body dinked. Body exterminated. Gamer-Legion came to play. Took them a map to find a footing, John. But now they brought us the distance. We're headed to Nuke.
Yeah, and it's their IGL bringing them, one, which side they started, and two, how hot they can be. But and if they can find that dynamism you were mentioning, because it was certainly lacking on
Look,
Ancient.
They're in Texas. They're all hot. I can guarantee that. Well, weather, I'm sure, is warm in Dallas right now. And so we're going to heat things up on the server to match. Smoking a flash for both squads as we head into this pistol round. P2 Fitty for Maka, Doolies for ZTR. That is the lay of the land here.
Gamer-Legion winning the knife round. So
Typing. I hear typing.
Oh.
Smokes out. Damage done. There's no damage done. Well, I guess it's live. We're in. Ignore the typing. Away we go. Towson, PR, A-Court, chiming in with kills. Headshots landed. And it's going to be up to Exorcist to try and get this one done. No way that that's happening there.
Wow.
Complete massacre in the outer yard.
Like all the bodies there to respond on the Gamer-Legion side. The pistols rattling off. I mean, 4 players were watching yard. It was a nice defense, a good read coming through from Gamer-Legion, an adaptation based upon the util that was tossed forward. And they will get that first round. As I was saying, they get that CT side start. That means A-Core can settle in with the AWP on the defensive end once they have the money to afford it. And then things could get very rosy for Gamer-Legion indeed. But that, of course, is dependent on 3D Max not coming through and disrupting that, which they have been very good at, in particular on their T sides. Let's see what they can do here with the Tech 9s. Well, so far, nothing at all. Towson gets 3, and ZTR drops Exorcist, leaving only Maka with a hope and a prayer, and that prayer is going to go completely unanswered. Gamer-Legion have a 2-0 lead.
Run on down. It's like sheepdog approach. Funnel him right back into the flank that's developing, that's slipping through from Trophy. Just had a sneaky coach high five hand. Slip into the prayer cam there. Right the high five for him. Nicely done. All right, 3D Max try and go for the explosive upper bust. But we're going to clap our way into the third. Blessing trying to rally the troops, trying to shake off any of that stupor they maybe had from Ancient. Get the energy flowing once again. Get them moving. It's a rough start, but it's far from conclusive.
Oh,
that shot might just light the way into something here for Maka.
Maybe if you can get a follow-up afterwards as well. I mean, he's the only one in yard right now. So perhaps he can draw enough attention for the rest of his team to slip through into ramp, which looks like it's the idea. Again, this is just the eco round coming through for 3D Max. So look, someone's watching here. It is PR, but he's gone. Long range Tech 9 shot from Graffiti, and now ZTR's under pressure. He managed to survive, Mike, but there's damage taken.
There is indeed, and that might make him a little less confident about trying to deny this bomb plant. They got the window. Numbers getting punched in. And ZTR, not yet open single. It's a nice pluck away, though, from Towson on ramp. They need to find a fight. They need to isolate this. They know that. Rez is trying to hold them at bay. Let them chase him on in at this point with just a Tech 9.
Nice.
1 kill and a gun out might have been the best case scenario, but Rez won't be entertaining it.
That's really good work from Rez, forcing them to come into his angle and taking favorable fights in both situations. And that settles down what could have been a lot worse for GamerLegion in that round. Just off a couple of frags, and that was one of them for Maka. And after that, Graffiti managed to isolate PR. Just his spray is missing from that MP9, which you kind of expect at that range. Happens sometimes. GamerLegion, the important part is they finish strong. They get that third round, and now it's up to 3D Max to respond. Here come the guns for them. AKs across the board, full util. Appears as though they want to take this outside yard space while the smoke's coming up.
Drop down from Mini. Rez slips away. Can't get caught. Nice movement from Rez. Good awareness. Well, what could be coming his way? Still, they've ceded a lot of real estate here. And PR may not realize that there's a player past him already. So PR looking at the lockers, but Graffiti has gained altitude. Unless his namesake pulls him back down, now he's in a really tough spot. Oh boy.
Oh no.
Kill on the body. The bomb is down. That will need to be retrieved eventually. They wanted to leave it by the step so they'd have options to go up or down depending on what they wanted to find.
Oh jeez.
They're losing the numbers.
On the flank.
Graffiti's thinking, I've got all this space. I have a crazy spot here. I know where PR is. But I need my teammates to be able to do something if I'm actually going to be able to capitalize on this. He's trying to figure out how to get this angle. Come on, go a little wider. A little wider. Eventually, you just got to body shot him.
Yeah.
35 seconds. Let's see if this position in heaven is still so strong. And Maka from the T roof now starts to thin the herd. Numbers are whittling down. And look at where these players are trying to go. They're trying to get into hell. It's going to be so tough for them to get stuck back into this round. Both rifles here. Sorry, no, it's a rifle in the AWP. Flashbang to set it up. He knew his angles, but Rez still is able to overcome. And now without their guardian angel on high, without the watchful gaze of Graffiti, the GamerLegion players will flood back into the site. A-core with some snappy shooting as well. And an AK signed, sealed, and delivered for his teammate, who already had one.
Absolutely gorgeous retake util coming through from GamerLegion and Rez in particular, but that one toss, I don't think it was Rez that threw that flashbang because he was going for the fight afterwards, but that flashbang that was thrown in towards heaven was unbelievable. Nothing at all that Graffiti could do as Rez was charging up on him, and then afterwards another flashbang from Rez that opens up the space for A-Core. We talked about it. They didn't really have that op presence that GamerLegion in the past here on Nuke. Now, A-Core has already made himself heard and seen with 2 key frags and a 4-0 lead for GamerLegion. That is so good.
That's gotta be such a frustrating round as well, right? You had so much space. They allowed you so much room. They had no idea there was a player in heaven for so long in that round. And you couldn't find a way to put the pieces together to get the dub.
At least they have the full loss bonus to back off on, and of course the bomb plants keep coming through for 3D Max. So that means AK's in pretty much full util for them. And like you said, they found the space. I mean, they got in the behind enemy lines for a couple of frags, and it felt like with the control they had, they couldn't lose that round just to retake. The util too strong. Lucky's had a tough start here. 2 nuke, and Graffiti loses the fight up against A-Core. Nice shot. Look at Rez, he's pushed all the way up, and he finds body. Swings a little too aggressively, though. Maybe a step too far. He loses the battle to Maka, but it's still a man advantage here, Mike, for GamerLegion. Oh,
and then some. And then some. Maka's creating some space outside, but I mean, he has to do this all on himself, and he's not expecting the player. If there'd been a rifle out there, that would have been big trouble for Maka. Fortunate for him, ZTR anticipating a little bit more. Look at that space, though. Next, you'll see if his teammate can get back up to Vents.
okay.
There's a lot of awareness of where these players are. They don't know about PR. He's the ramp player, so they're a little wary that he could have gone for the full trophy push through. Maka's risking it to get the fight, and as they peek back in, now it's a double peek, double angle. They're still wary that PR could have come through, and actually they afford him the chance to get into heaven.
I don't think they'll expect PR in heaven. It depends if they even end A. It feels like they have to with only 30 seconds left. ZTR is waiting for his opportunity to strike from vents. This is still a good setup for GamerLegion.
Now they know. Now they know, and Maka lives with 1 HP! If that nade was just a fraction closer, that could have been the round.
Bomb has been planted.
Bomb planted. ZTR is still stuck down the vents, but no one watching it, at least for the moment. ZTR has a window. An opportunity to get back up and around before they make their way to Squeak, but he's too late. Unless he still finds the kill coming off the ladder. That 1 HP coming back to bite. Still, first player off the bomb collected. PR is going to have to drop down. His position confirmed, since he's using the flashbangs well. Confirm his angles. Here comes the tap. PR's just going to stick. PR's just going to stick, but now he's been pulled. Is there time enough? There is. There is indeed. With the kit, PR has done this, clutched it up to keep the streak going.
Wow. That is another impressive retake coming through there from GamerLegion. Not as clean as the previous one, of course, but they do get it across the finish line. Started so great for them, right? Acorn, Rez getting those two. Rez didn't have to force the issue, but I guess he's feeling good. He's like, hey, why not? Let's try it. And it does cost him his life, and in the end, it gets a little bit dicey for GamerLegion, but they do isolate those fights well, and you saw PR dipping and dancing around the angle and eventually closing it out with just seconds to spare on the bomb defusal. And they do get their fifth. 3D Max. The good news again, Mike. Bomb plant after bomb plant. That means they can continue contesting here, but they have to start getting rounds because it feels like it could slip away if they don't find something in the next two.
It is currently slipping. Raz has an AUG now.
Yeah.
Which is what he buys when he's feeling luxurious.
I've seen the AUG being played here from Big Garage quite frequently, and it works pretty well, Mike.
AUG's kind of nice. AUG's kind of nasty with it.
Yeah.
Mid-ground between an AWP and a rifle. Been getting very popular. Call that the Grimfluence. Hey, Core, this is a tough fight. This is a tough fight. Dodges the flashbang well, and he's around the corner. This is what we're talking about. Oh, dips back in, goes for the confidence game, and that will cost him. And ZTR down the vent will be taken as well. Incendiary to harass. Look at the damage. And we get a chance for a clutch from the young Frenchman. Plus the one, I think, saw an elbow coming around the corner. And actually, for a moment, they thought he might have been coming back up top, so he's got a chance to open the door. But the ruse is rumbled. Slips in towards the blue boxes. Finds the first. Towson playing ahead of his teammate. Means that now this is super isolated. Raz has to bring through the clutch. He doesn't have a kit, but one's down on the site itself. Will not matter. Graviti holds strong. 4 kills to the man. And a round that was desperately needed here for 3D Max.
It felt like there were good pieces there in the retake for GamerLegion, but they all came too far apart, right? That flashbang was great, but there's no teammate to capitalize off it. And then the peak for information, also good, but they get too aggressive as they're coming from ramp, and that leaves Rez isolated. If you throw the flashbang and then Rez is right there, then we're talking about a different round entirely, because then Rez can capitalize, you can double peek, double swing, and use that advantage well. But because they don't, because it is delivered in such a piecemeal fashion, GamerLegion lose the round, and 3D Max, that's a breath of life they were desperately hoping to get. Oh my god, the boost.
Snatched away, though. You finally get life back in. Rez punches you in the diaphragm. Gotta be able to build on it, right? There's nothing worse than finally breaking a streak only to immediately get stuff back into the doldrums.
I love that play from Acor as well, Mike. That confidence play. I think he has to start making those types of decisions because it'll help him be stronger in his game and force 3D Max. Think about him. Speaking of forcing someone to think about it, it's 3D Max forcing themselves upon GamerLegion with a couple of frags. Acor gets one, but it's only one, and they've got this B site.
Acor. It's all on him. It's all on him. That shot, tough. Missed. And then he is snatched out of the server. And at this point, this has to be a save for Towson. He's so out of position. The bomb is down. The clock will tick away. And 3D Max will be bringing through a second round in a row here.
All right, disrupting the defense are 3D Max. That's what they're good at. Finding a way to get into the heads of their opponents, finding the gaps in the defense, and exploiting them.
It's unusual to see for a team like 3D Max. Usually it's, I would say, often a team effort on the 3D Max front in terms of the kill column. And right now we've got little 007 action going. Body only saved from it by surviving through this round. 2 players who have yet to crack into the kill column.
Yeah.
2 typically impactful pieces as well at that.
True. Especially Body stuck on 0. Well, we'll see. Still a lot of Counter-Strike left to be played here. And you see Towson unable to save the M4 means that there won't be any investment at all coming through for GamerLegion into this round. It's just the full eco. I don't believe they'll be able to afford the AWP in the next round either, and if they do, it's a glass cannon, which would be inadvisable, let's say. So it should be 3D Max's round to take, but you've still got these pistols that can do some damage if 3D Max walk into the wrong angles, and that's a freebie for ZTR.
The struggles continue for Body. That doesn't feel good to lose a straight-up duel with a USP.
And you have the MAC-10, which farms USPs.
That's, well, you know,
yeah.
Actually, have you considered, though, that now they're headed in towards B, and maybe this MAC-10 could cause problems? He's gonna burn. He's gonna burn! Somehow still alive. The nade doesn't finish him either. ZTR dodging death at every turn. The unkillable man works his way back into the rat hole, just trying to pogo stick and be a nuisance here. But at the end of the day, it was just unarmored USPs.
All right, well, nice effort at the very least, and staying alive that long is kind of crazy. You see,
it's like the last guy in a knife round in a 1v4 who just decides he's going to run around the map for as long as possible.
Exactly. Well, it was fun to watch at the very least, but not too meaningful in the round for GamerLegion, as 3D Max are going to get the third, closing the gap to only 2 rounds. This is GamerLegion's chance to really start to assert themselves once more, since the guns will be coming out again. AWP will be lacking, and I think they've called a timeout here.
Seems to be that way. The music tells us it is so.
Well,
quick chance for a correction with the guns here.
Yep.
No head armor. And there is an A1S on the T side. So lack of hats might cost them. Those ears are looking to be clipped. That's a nice start. ZTR out of play. He's had a really good series, at least on Ancient. We don't talk about Anubis. But Rez is at least able to trade him out.
I mean, Rez has been that guy, right? We talked about it on Ancient. Now it seems like it's continuing here on Nuke. He's got 7 frags, only behind Towson, who's got 9. You see the space that 3D Max have gained into ramp. It's kind of being given to them, but Acor's watching. Acor's watching. He gets one and only one, but PR's also by his side to ensure that the trades are good. And now a 3v2 advantage. Yes, you give up the space into the B side. Oh, but Maka makes it a 2v2. He hangs around a little bit longer. PR doesn't expect it. And now things have shifted a little bit.
He just knows. He just knows he needs to keep that pressure amplified. Chance to plant the bomb. Rez is going to risk this. In the smoke he goes. Might offset their timing, their expectations here, but I think it's better off it and withdraws. Towson deleted. Head ripped from his shoulders. And now the clutch required. No kit. That's also a key difference. No kit this time around. It'll have to be the full 10 seconds. So if they can just buy time, well, why bother?
More than just time. Maka does it with the rifle, with the op, everything possible here into this round. He's got it. And 3D Max are right back into this map. It was a very tough start for them, but getting those 4 rounds in a row on T side has been phenomenal. Not to say that GamerLegion didn't play the round well. I thought they did. You know, they had the trades, they had good spacing. It's just Maka hanging back and really gaining himself an advantage as they were trying to come back in towards ramp. And I just really like the way he played that round in general.
John, I got a question for you.
Yes.
How do you say yeehaw in French?
I don't know if there's a direct translation for that. That's a good question, though. Let me think.
Any French viewers here, let us know.
Yeah.
The most French equivalent of yeehaw would be, because it seems like 3D Max might be finding a little bit of their yeehaw here on Nuke.
Oh, yeah.
They're always asking yeehaw, but they're never asking haw yee.
I think it would be the mascot for the baseball team used to be, it was called UP.
You're taking this way too seriously, John. We're into the round now. The 5-7s have found a couple of kills. The action is afoot, and Towson, someone gave him a rifle.
Oh.
He's putting it to great effect. Forced out by a Molotov, at least for the moment, but back turn as the 5-7 strikes. It comes down to the clutch. Lucky, feeling anything but in this moment. Flashbang to get them over the lip, but Lucky, he cannot catch.
That's crazy. What work from Towson in the round of 3K, and then the 5-7 coming in on that flank was so disruptive for 3D Max. They're trying to get a grip on what's happening in Towson, who actually started with that 5-7 himself. But then, as they are, the 5-7 strikes at the perfect moment, and Towson capitalizes afterwards by finding the third on the round, and he's up to 12. GamerLegion back to their winning ways with 6. And round 11 now shapes up once more. And again, 3D Max have always been able to put themselves in good situations buy-wise because the plants keep coming through, but at least GamerLegion able to get a response this time.
Nice little pluck there from Acor. Been acquitting himself nicely. It's kind of a similar story. Lucky works his way through the smoke. Rez looking the wrong way. Smokes. They aren't walls, though it's tempting to think of them that way.
Oh.
Now the A site has been stripped of its defenders. One more remains. Acor on that scope, trying to create space for his teammate to get up the fence. Like he knows this is a possibility, but PR now painted to the corner. He's burning. He's allowed to slip away. He's allowed to escape. That could have been a massive punish. Instead, Acor trying to keep them guessing. Repositioning here, but ZTR loss means the numbers are starting to stack up against them. Body not expecting this angle. Around from Acor so far. Let's see if PR can help him capitalize. Out over the lip, the flashbang didn't reveal the player just under. At this point, Acor knows he has to slip away and keep this off for the final round. All this work, but it's all for naught.
Still a great round from Acor, despite the fact that they're unable to close it out. The first two he gets from Heaven, he readjusts himself to hold the mini angles. He suspects a player is going to try and slip in there and join the rest of his squad in the site. He's absolutely right and collects the third, but no one else can really activate for GamerLegion. And you saw it there. I mean, a good flashbang toss, but they couldn't get that important frag. And afterwards, Acor just has to pull the plug. Save the AWP as 3D Max find their fifth, going to the final round of this half. I think both teams have acquitted themselves well, Mike. Good recovery after being down 5-0 here on the 3D Max side. GamerLegion not saying quit. It feels like they're very much in this one in a map that they've struggled on in the past. See here. I mean, look, if the op continues to go well here for GamerLegion, that is a good and very encouraging sign for their chances at victory here on the map.
And the chance in the event as a whole as well, right?
Yes.
Huge question mark for Acor. I don't know what he'd done for them before, but certainly had been a minute. An aggressive initial look there. Slides back away unpunished, though, and the space is filled by 3D Max. Rez is peering over these smokes, but he may not realize where Body is. Oh boy, Rez is going to be so compromised. They don't know that there's a player here in Garage. Oh, Rez has the awareness, has the presence of mind to check for it, and Body gets collected. So now that potential trump card position is turned over on the table and revealed. That's good. GamerLegion hold that advantage.
And I think GamerLegion realizing there's not much more to that. It was just a lurk. So they got the information, they backed off of it, and now 3D Max, as opposed to having that advantage that they had a couple of times in this round, this time GamerLegion aware of their tricks. Ooh, they're going to try and move in Graffiti. Ooh.
This is looking like ZTR was thinking about opening that door. Would have been a bit of a rude surprise, but now he's throwing a little bit of a fake. This is just meant to be a distraction. Problem is ZTR sniffs it out immediately. Still does mean they're going to need to hold strong here on the upper side. They could do nothing of the sort. Great entries coming through from 3D Max. Bomb now planted. Health is dire, though, for Maka. And Lucky's not looking a whole lot better. That nade makes it easier. But Lucky forced out by the incendiary. Peppered with util. Really will need to be XSCs to give them a little bit of health backing. And it comes down to the clutch for him. Up against the op. Acorn just trying to get on early. But ahead of the flashbang, it means we are all tied up here as we hit the break. One final half between these two squads, and it's neck and neck on map 3. Strong showings for both on their own map picks, but now in neutral territory on Nuke, it's anything but. We cannot separate these squads here, John.
No, really. I mean, look, if you see the way that one trended, it was more in favor of 3D Max in the closing moments, but I don't want to say they necessarily have the momentum here because GamerLegion were in every single one of those rounds. Like, they were competitive every time, and Acor was really helping them do that with the AWP. He was ringing true. Sure, there were some missed shots here and there, but you're seeing a lot of promise come through with that op as this series has progressed. And now going to T-side, I don't know if it'll necessarily be deployed as much, but now you have the comfort of knowing, hey, look, maybe we can send Acor looking for something towards outside or maybe into ramp with the AWP and see if he can open up that space that we're desperately looking for. One interesting note here, Mike, is actually 3D Max are better on their T side of Nuke than they are on CT side. Their stats are lower. On T round win percentage is 52.6%, and their CT round win percentage is 46.7%. So that's an interesting one. Going into this second half, tied at 6-6, maybe GamerLegion can exploit that a little bit, their discomfort on the defensive side.
Seems like we're going to have a little bit of a longer break here, folks. 2000 stood up. They're unplugging, replugging. But hopefully we'll get it resolved quickly.
Yeah.
You can see Mouse waiting in the background. They're the next game. They're warming up, getting ready as they take on BCG after this. Don't worry, based on how long this game is going, we will not have long between these two matches. Be a quick swap.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to get them in and get them going. That's going to be an interesting one. We have a lot to talk about there, but let's focus in here. I mean, look, I don't know, Mike. If we're looking at the way 3D Max has been throughout the series, I think they've generally been pretty disruptive on their CT sides. They've been able to try and get in on flanks. In particular on Anubis, I like the way they were deploying themselves there, not allowing GamerLegion to get comfortable, taking the space into canals. Now they're going to have to try and do the same here, and I would imagine that would be it outside, in the yard, trying to get aggressive there, sending a couple of players out to disrupt, as GamerLegion did to them in a couple of rounds there in that first half. We'll see if they decide to deploy it, if they're going to play more passively. It's going to be a very important moment as well for them in the early rounds, because if they can't get off on the right foot, things could get really troubling quickly for them.
Could be indeed. I like that Telson is taking advantage to get the blood flow back in the knees with this extended break. You know, get the stand-up going. It's always a good thing to do, folks. If you've been sitting for a while, I know I have. Just stand up. Do a little stretching. Get the calisthenics going. Gets the blood back in your fragging hand. Which hand is the fragging hand? That's a good question. Mouse or keyboard, right? Obviously, mouse is controlling the flicks, but they say good aim starts with movement.
I'd say both for sure. You can't pick one or the other, right? A movement allows you the space to aim. If you're good at movement, you get that little extra half a second to find the frag. So, I don't know. It's equal parts.
I'll do my best to be bad at both. Meet somewhere in the middle. What is that?
I don't know.
That's what you got there.
Some sort of...
Can you lift that a little bit? Can we lower the camera? Can we see what Rez is working with here? Some sort of tassel?
Looks like a tassel of some kind. Talked about this.
Oh, it's like a little guy.
Oh, that's kind of cute.
Little guy with a tassel on top?
Yeah. We'll have to investigate here.
Hold on. Move your hand, Rez. Show us the little guy. Reveal your secrets to us, Rez. That is not a look that says this is going to be resolved very quickly. Someone needs to put Rez's little guy to work. Have him fix the computer. Solve the audio issue. Stretch. Ooh, get the wrist flex out. Here we go. Body showing you a good exercise. We got sweatshirts on.
Gotta stay warm.
Apparently it's not that hot in Texas.
Yeah. I feel like it probably is, but maybe not hot in the room they're in. AC is blasting.
I don't love playing in long sleeves.
No, it feels disruptive. I agree with you.
I need to feel my skin on the mouse pad. Forearm skin.
I think it's also the shoulder on the armrest for me. Or sorry, it's not shoulder, elbow on the armrest. My shoulder's on the armrest. I don't know what I'm doing to get that to happen.
Laying down, reclining while you game.
Yeah.
So you're saying, what, when you have long sleeves, that your elbow's too high on the armrest?
I don't know. Yeah, it might be that it lifts the elbow up too high, or just like not getting that contact affects the way I flick with my mouse or something like that. I can't really explain it, but whenever I'm playing with long sleeves, I have to roll them up. I can't do it.
Well, folks, it does seem like this issue is going to take a little bit longer. So as much as I'm sure you're enjoying listening to us yap, there is actually another game going on. It's Vitality taking on Legacy right now, so we're going to take a look at that gameplay.
Last year in Dallas, they played against G2. Lost to the Stewie 2K stand-in, the miraculous story. I'm sure Apex has been thinking about that since last year. Want to get the revenge, get the title here in Dallas.
Bet he's been playing those arena chants as he goes to bed into his headphones.
Yeah.
Just to get himself in the right mindset.
Well, he was getting ready for it as well, because out in Melbourne they were doing it.
Oh yeah, they were. it's spread across the world. B-hit.
Yeah, B-hit and shut down, so nice and clean. I remember I was listening.
That's the B-hit.
Chad was casting the final, and he said, all right, Melbourne, this is maybe the last half of Counter-Strike we're going to have all weekend. Let's give them something they're going to remember. Immediately, the FU Apex chat stars. Yeah, perfect. That was a great moment. All right, so 7-3, easy round win here for Vitality, and it looks like the half might just be easy as well. A couple rounds left here. Legacy looking to scrap together what they can. It's going to be a timeout. Their first of the half so far. Money's in a spot where they can buy AK armor and get a buyout around it, but they're not going to have the AWP they were wanting earlier on in the half.
I mean, for them, it's just a matter of like, what's worked? Like, well, does anyone have a play they feel comfortable opening the round up with? Like, let's
All right, we're back in. We're back in. It never fails. Once you throw to actually showing something else, everything gets fixed, and we're going to hop back into the server. Tosin can stop flexing. Can flex on the server instead. 6-all. And the second half begins here, John.
It does. 3D Max getting hyped up by their coach to get back into things. All tied up, pistol round underway, body looking for frags here over in ramp, and it's actually Maka's going to get delivered the first. Little bit of team damage coming through for 3D Max, but Rez and ZTR are pounding on through to this A site, and they're going to get it under their control. The problem is they've lost all their teammates, and now it's all down to A-Core, who's under a lot of pressure. He does manage to do damage against Graffiti Mike, but he's still got body to worry about as well.
It's a nice fadeaway. Now he knows where the plays are, so he knows he has a gap to get this bomb planted. That's a great read and react from A-Core. Gonna be able to punch in the numbers, secure at least this money. And you can see Graviti is very nervous about going for a face. Might have played a little bit more aggressively if he weren't, you know, on 2 HP. Double doors opened. Ooh, this is cheeky. They're gonna think he's in towards control, but back behind the doors itself. Does Body account for this? Oh, now he knows. Now he's seen him get wide on it, but Body still needs to find the headshot, and he finally will. Time enough, just about, for the defuse. Oh, God. What are we doing?
I think they thought someone had a kit. Anyway, they're fine.
You faking him out. Faking him out. Whew. 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 Made me nervous. I'll tell you that much.
A little bit. They do figure it out at the end of the day. I almost would have rather A-Core stayed there and waited for them to move on to the bomb site, but he got a little too antsy. Maybe he thought he might have been exposed at that angle if they came around, but I don't really think so. Body has the advantage, has the high ground, and we all know how important that is, as it's a 7-6.
I mean, it's important that Body gets some kills any which way. He has had a rough map, and he's somebody that we usually look to shine. So If he needs the high ground to get that USP kill, whatever it takes, Body going to be able to follow up with another, but he is chased away. He doesn't want to give up this rifle, so instead he's going to allow them to space in towards ramp. Means that a bomb plant could very likely be in the cards. Flashbang to try and threaten. Graffiti's really just trying to stall them, keep them from planting that C4 so that his teammates can get further in towards position. They can't deny this bomb plant, that's for sure, but they've got 3 players coming through from the ramp. So the question is GamerLegion going to be prepared for all this defense?
I mean, 3D Max got a good opportunity here, but PR gets one. Lucky the trade. All right, now they can start flooding on into the site. They've got the numbers. They've got the advantage in that regard. Rez, ZTR, and Acor just trying to hold the line. Time ticking away on this bomb. Rez gets overlooked in the rat hole, but Graffiti and Body do manage to collect a couple of scalps, and Acor is found out as well. Diffuser should be plenty of time for that, and it'll be 8-6 in favor of 3D Max.
Look, not the most dramatic of margins there. 2 of those players were very close to death. Overall, for a force buy, you'd like to take it through, but it is good impact. But withstanding it, surviving it for 3D Max, that's the most important part. The sustained bomb plant, the damage that they've done, I suspect we'll see GamerLegion come right back in. But they go for a half by this time. Hero rifle on Rez. We've seen this in a few rounds where they put the hero rifle on one player and they let him cook. This time, it's going to be their Swedish vet.
Yeah, I don't blame him for this decision. Rez has been so very good for them. He's taking opening duels effectively, and he's going to do the same thing here. Up against Graffiti, loses that duel, but the AK is right there to be picked up, unfortunately for Towson. Lucky does manage to get one, but CTR drops from top of Mini, gets 2, and Acor capitalizing to Lucky. We're down to a 2v2 out of seemingly nothing. GamerLegion will lose another. It's Acor. PR gets it right back, Mike. This is chaos, but PR is dropped immediately afterwards. The trades are phenomenal from both sides, and it's a war of attrition that 3D Max wins.
It's not the way you want to win, but a win is a win is a win. Oh my goodness, the PR Deagle is lethal when it comes down to that on 1v1. You're clenched up if you're supporting the French squad right here. Big tension relief, but that was just the hero rifle. That was supposed to be the easy round. Now they got the guns. CTR still on the techie. That's a sacrifice they made to have Rez have an AK in the last. And actually, Exercice on the XM. Exercice, they call him. Towson collects on the first. Space opened up here in the outer yard. There's going to be Body peering on from heaven. Damage onto Towson, but they're still taking this space. ETR has not slowed down in the slightest. Some of the Graffiti lost. Now Acor starting to find the room. Body's in trouble. I don't think he realizes how close these players are. Well, it doesn't matter because PR kills him from below. So now they have everything. They have everything, John. They have all the control.
Oh, yeah. The other 2 players are towards the B site for 3D Max. And this is a save for sure. They don't even look interested in getting back towards A. They know they've lost the round. All 5 players still alive for GamerLegion. It's just everyone combining there for GL. Coming through, getting the openers, and the space they absolutely needed to strike in this second half. The first round they picked up, but what's important for them is, yes, that previous round went 3D Max's way, but you only had 1 survivor on the CT side, meaning the economy was very rough coming into this one. And you see it, the numbers, $0 for Lucky and Maka, and only 50 for Exercice. So these guns are really important to save. Acor around the corner wins the fight, so the op is gone. And, well, Acor doesn't manage to get Exercice as well, but there could be a player hot in his tail. In fact, it's the bomb that's hot in his tail. It will drop him. No guns saved through, and GamerLegion a chance to claw some rounds back on the board as a result.
Love a bit of slow-mo. Timeout taken here. It's 3D Max trying to rally. Try and sort these things out. Knowing the cost of what they just lost, how expensive the previous one went. Now drop around here. The question is, do we go all the way in? It's double eco territory for a lot of these players. You have to invest here. It'll give you a better gun round eventually, but if you can't convert one of these unexpected rounds, scoreline's going to be tied up again.
You never know what can happen with those pistols, Mike.
That's true. That is true.
A couple of 5.7s in the right place, and there you go. Like we saw for GamerLegion in that first half.
It can be done. Lack of armor is going to make it tough.
Yeah, XRC's boosted up here.
Actually, surprised they don't invest all the way in, but they don't. Here's your couple of 5.7s. P250 and a 5.7 as the case may be. But 1 for 2. Make that 3. Not the exchange rate they were looking for.
Not at all. This round's done. Graviti and Maka might snow. As I'm saying that, Maka's dead. And the round is indeed done and dusted. Will be an 8th for GamerLegion, but Graviti's managed to find something on the ground. That something is an AK. Will he be able to hang on for it? Yeah. No choice.
Don't know if he's going to expect him here. Indeed, he will not.
Alrighty.
As you like here for GamerLegion, likely to be another eco on the back of this. Which means that we are all but guaranteed a tied scoreline here late in the day on Nuke. You and I were having a little chat at half here, John, predicting our scorelines. And I'm just saying, I called OT.
You did. I'm saying full 24, but no OT. So, that's my prediction. I'm going to go all in and say GamerLegion 13-11. I'm going to say my full prediction. Mike? I think you were the other side.
I got 3 max 16-14, but mostly I just feel the overtime. I got look, predictions are hard to do, but I do have a feeling I've got a nose for OT. Let's see if my nose knows where it goes. Dawson certainly knows how to find round 9.
Oh yeah, this is another round that's clean as can be. From the GamerLegion side, not disrupted by the ecos at all from 3D Max, and Lucky and Maka maybe hoping to catch a player lacking a little bit, lurking around and grab a gun and an upgrade. With PR, he's wise to their games and he will get lucky as well. This round is done and GamerLegion will be walking out of it with absolutely nothing. Or not GamerLegion, 3D Max will be walking out with absolutely nothing.
Oh, he tried. He tried to snatch one away. Just a little bit of sweetness on the tail end there. Would have need like the insta double dang. So that range ain't happening. So now momentum in their favor, wind in their sails. GamerLegion come up against a tougher test. The rocks arrayed around in defense from 3D Max. They've got the weapons. Can they capitalize? Where's Maka playing? Looks like in towards heaven. Pretty classic for an alt. Nothing that unusual.
Yep, pretty bog standard. And GamerLegion are just taking their time. Now they've got the util finally coming out, that deep wall of smokes. That is now the standard. No longer do we see the wall of smokes from red box to mini anymore. They want to allow themselves more space to work. To every team on Nuke. A little bit of a smoke pop coming through there, but no visibility from 3D Max means they might know this is coming in towards the A side on inner. XRC's burning alive in that utility. Does manage to survive long enough to get one, despite the fact that he's blinded. Eventually traded out here. Maka's trying to have an impact with the AWP. Drops all the way down to the site, exposing himself to the rifles, and he does still get the up-close shot with the op, but will be traded immediately. 3v2 with Lucky trying to eat with the numbers once more. It'll be actually Body who does that. 2v2, Mike, they're jumping onto the site. Now a 1v1.
Does he know how much damage has been done? Goes to the sidearm, so seems to be likely. Could just go back to the rifle. Yeah, plenty of bullets in this gun.
Oh.
Headshots are bust, so PR's trying to play the angle for it. Spots knows that Body is out, but does he want to go for the swing? Predictive fire, but Body can catch the kill. Swinging around the corner, trusted his aim, and when they needed him most, Body stepped up big.
I mean, look at the battle that ensued here on the A site. Utility flying in both directions, bullets sailing past everyone, and you see the space that GamerLegion gain in towards this site. Maka takes a huge risk, honestly, by jumping down from heaven, but he feels like he has to try and disrupt because he might not have the angles to fight, and it was a good decision in the end because he gets that first frag. Yes, he's traded out, but he allows the space for Body to retake up into heaven and continue to rain bullets down on the GamerLegion side. Ended up being really close back and forth in the end, down to another 1v1, but it feels like 3D Max are starting to win more of these clutch situations than GamerLegion.
It's not where you want to be if you're GamerLegion. It's a bit of a far cry from it. If you started watching after map 1, you would think that this has been a very good day for GamerLegion, but we still remember what happened on Anubis. They came out flat. It took them a little while to get the gears churning. You don't want to find yourself stuck in a rut here. Need another jump start. Still, because that comes down to the clutch, right? The money is not good. It's just so tough to sustain the defense here with limited weaponry. An A-core, hell of a shot. Takes out Maka, his counterpart. That's actually reminiscent of Anubis, where every time those two came up in a head-to-head duel, it was Maka who took it. This time, A-core, the res, finds himself plucked with that op all the same. Lucky's hands on the scope. Maybe that'll change his fortunes. And look at this. There's no defenders on A. There's nothing on A. 3D Max are taking some risks, and in the meantime, GamerLegion are poking their nose out of the hut and realizing, oh, this is for me? This is my bomb site?
I mean, I think ZTR is getting the call as well. They're saying, no, don't fight any more there. Come back to the A site. No one's home. That's exactly what ZTR is going to try and do here.
Genuinely, this is such a weird situation, but it almost feels like this might just be a save. Even more so, now that these kills are coming through.
Definitely.
But they were just so out of position. They took a risk. They took a huge gamble, betting they'd be outside or lower, and, well, as we can see, it did not pay off.
Yeah, I think the thing that's hurting the most right now for 3D Max, you already mentioned at the beginning of the round, economy not stabilizing because of how many clutches have been required to get to those 10 rounds on the board. Lucky has the op and exercise for the FAMAS. You'd imagine that GamerLegion want to hunt here and try to get these guns out of their hands because they know the type of advantage they'll give them the way this one has flowed. And they're heading in towards T-spawn, which, you know, would be potentially a location where they'd want to save, but it's not the case. They will stay at ramp and keep the guns in their hands at the very least. But man, oh man, GamerLegion are really hanging in there. It's starting to trend in their direction as we're tied 10-10.
Back and forth, and here's the commitment. Ooh. All the way in with these saved guns. They are risking it.
Okay.
This is where things get spicy. If they lose, they're playing for overtime, right?
Yes, absolutely. But if
Gonna trust in the op. Gonna trust in the op of Maka. He's called his own number. See if he can deliver. GamerLegion look like they want to pressure that A site again. They found empty space here. Gonna see if it's just as inviting. Not quite, but the flashbangs are good. The utility is good. Exorcist on the edge of the smoke, though. He's not gonna realize that Rez has already wrapped a smoke pop. Perfect timing coming through. Calling for that nade. And these two players forced out in towards heaven. Can they even get stuck back in? They're dropping down. They're just trying to survive. But that kill outside, now that's going to invite them into the retake. PR wanted to end it.
I don't know.
But in taking that fight, he might have just invited them into the retake.
There's no kits though, Mike. And, you know, you have a gun on the ground here for Body. It's so valuable. Your economy's so low.
They're taking your advice, John. They're backing away. Discretion, the better part of valor. They're stepping out of this one. 11 rounds. GamerLegion slide into the lead, and that money is in shambles.
It's such a hard call to make in the moment because you see the numbers even. You're like, man, we should really go for this. We have to. But then you look at your money and you're like, we don't have anything to work with if we go out and lose these guns. Hey, this whole half has trended. So they have to save the guns as a result. And I'd be surprised, honestly, if they buy up around them. It might just be those 2 guns to come through. And then they'll have a money in the bank for a buy up in the follow-up. It looks like I'm wrong. They are going to buy around them. I mean, I guess it gives you 3 from Osses, so it's not too shabby. It's just that, again, you're putting yourself in a very difficult situation should you lose this round.
Yeah, you've now committed to never having a proper buy.
Yes.
Unless you can win. And that makes it a whole lot easier. A second tag as well. Kills found. Player already down the vent. Maka taking a risk here. Not on the angle. Can't find it in time. And body forced back in towards control. Trying to break the windows just to stay alive. Here in the windowsill. Dropping down as Towson peaks. Relentless here from the young gun. But the numbers still in their favor on the 3D Max side. This bomb destined to be planted. And Towson has been a nightmare for them to deal with all map long, but especially in this round. You know, they got them contained. ZTR wants to try and find a little bit of space, but his footsteps given up. Graffiti, what does he decide to poke out? Well, it's Lucky instead who makes the inroads. On Towson smoked. Towson spotted. Information gained and confirmed. They can get stuck onto this defuse, and there's little that can be done. He needs the peek. He knows it, but he's got it. That might have just won the round.
Get him.
That might have just done it. He turtles up. The ace on deck just needs to find this spray in the smoke. Just needs to track the diffuser, but he can't. He can't do it. He can't find Lucky. He'll find the ace, but the round eludes him.
Oh man, he's frustrated for sure. I mean, he felt like he did everything right, and it's just that last piece of util, that last smoke that comes in to save the day for 3D Max, sticking the defusal. What a phenomenal start for 3D Max, and an even better response from Towson, who comes in and does so much damage. As you mentioned, the ace coming through in a losing effort, but he played that pretty much as perfectly as you can. Again, like, the economic struggles are not going to end here for 3D Max because they lose every single body in that situation, but we are coming down to the full 24 at the very least. That is wild.
I mean, last second, just a little off on the spray. An absolutely sick round that can't ultimately win it for them. Would have been a crazy way to put them through the map point. Now instead, we are going the distance one way or another here, John. Mag 7 in defense of the hut. It's getting real weird down the stretch.
And again, one wrong move here for 3D Max, and they're looking at a very tough buy-up in that last round.
Smoke fades everything. The smoke fade is everything.
It is.
Players are stacked up on both sides. It's all about this fight. And Rez tips it in their balance. Look at the damage, though. ZTR and A-Core are so low. Players already getting down the vent. You've already got Maka down lower.
They're trying to bait them.
And Exorcist no longer has a Mag 7. He's found an upgrade with that drop-down AK, but Towson is looking for this space. Oh, how does he turn? How does he turn? The trade is there. The trade is there, and that was one of the healthy players, but still, his teammates have come in from the heavens. This Nate to harass. If there was any util for Exorcist, he could do so much damage, but there's not. And so on high, Rez peers over the smoke to see the path forward for GamerLegion, and he might just have sealed the round. Maka spots. Now he can get in towards heaven. There's still time. There's not much, but there is still time. With an AK gain, a flashbang over. He wants to try and be the hero in this moment.
No.
Thinks better of it. Doubts himself. Withdraws of 2 mines. At this point, the time is gone. The clock is gone, and your AK is just too valuable. Nervous about the hunt. Panicked. Jittery. It is going to be GamerLegion to find map point. A chance to close here and avoid overtime. And the French squad of 3D Max, they are looking at pennies and sticks and stones to try and mount one more round.
At least they got an AK out of it. But yeah, you were right, Mike. That duel beyond the smoke ended up being key, and Rez delivers 2 more critical frags. Throughout the series, he's been phenomenal, in particular on Ancient. Not necessarily as much impact here on Nuke, but that is what he can do for you if you're GamerLegion on your T side, is open up rounds effectively and get that space that you need to work into the bomb sites. And, you know, while it does get a little bit hairy at the end for Maka, I think he might have overstepped a little bit by trying to keep them on the bomb site. I think that was his plan, but it didn't really matter that much for the economy of GamerLegion. It was more important for him to walk away with that AK. And you could also argue he's trying to make sure no one's on his tail, but, you know, someone could have peeked him. He could have been dead. Oh no, this is not going well. Maka loses the fight with Acor, who's been another important piece here for GamerLegion with that AWP 5v4, Mike.
Who else to open up what could be the final round of play here than the stand-in? The man who hasn't played an official yet this year. The man who's found his footing with this AWP in this series. He's been shaking off the rust and making it happen here. They've got a Krieg watching outside. Appearing from on top of the silo. With Gravity just underneath, starting to take up the space. This could get interesting. He's found the gap, he's found the time, he's found the space. And he hasn't been perceived in doing so. So if they could contain these players in towards Street at all, that'd be miraculous. But Gravity instead, he's going to delete ZTR as he tries to set up the util. The Mag 7 rings out, but it distracts from the rifles. And now it's onto a 2-on-2. And from on top of the hut, Body brings it through. But PR finds the final kill he needs. GamerLegion are going through. It couldn't end any other way in this series. It had to go down to the final players. It had to go down to the clutch.